Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Isn't it wonderful?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. We really enjoyed it.
Joyeux Noël à tous.
Welcome to Country's Family Reunion Christmas. I'm Larry Black, and since the very first Country's Family Reunion, we wanted to share Christmas with you and these legends. Skeeter Davis was among the first to say, "We've got to do this." I'm just sorry we didn't get to do the Christmas show when we still had Grandpa Jones and Justin Tubb with us. But stick around. Their presence is definitely felt. Let's go on in. It's Christmas.
Oh, Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. And I know I'm going home. Snarly blades are falling. My old home's a calling. Tall pines are humming. Christmas times are coming. Can't you hear the bells ringing, ringing? Joy to all, hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Everybody, Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. And I know I'm going home. Holly's in the window, home where the wind blows. I can't walk for running. Christmas times are coming. Can't you hear them bells ringing, ringing? Joy to all, hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. And I know I'm going home. Make one, y'all. Candles burning, my old heart's yearning for the folks at home when Christmas times are coming. Can't you hear them bells ringing, ringing? Joy to all, hear them singing. When it's snowing, I'll be going back to my country home. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. And I know I'm going home. One more. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. Christmas times are coming. And I know I'm going home. Yeah! Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas! Happy New Year! I think the key word to that for all of us is going home, because as much as we all travel, Christmas time is special because we get to be home. Jimmy Dickens was telling me, though, that there's been some Christmases in his career when you haven't been at home.
Oh, yeah. It's been three Christmases in particular that I remember not being home with the family. I was with a bunch of families, and 2 Christmases on Okinawa and 1 in Saigon, Vietnam.
Entertaining the troops.
Entertaining troops, men and women in the armed forces of America.
What was it like to be away from home at Christmas?
I can't explain it.
Was it a happy or sad time?
Happy time for those people. Of course, I knew where my family were. They were with their loved ones and with their families. But these guys were not. And we all became a part of each other. I just can't explain to you how they received the entertainment, whatever you done. You didn't even have to entertain, just be there. And it was beautiful.
Anybody else been away from home at Christmas doing shows, anything like that?
Okinawa, one Christmas. I spent Okinawa, Christmas in Okinawa, and I think you'd just been there. And I went to Vietnam, right behind you, I think. And but I did spend Christmas away from home on Okinawa one year. It's kind of lonely.
Yeah. Has anybody
Bill, yes, I spent Lefty Frizzell and I got kicked out of our houses
And Thanksgiving.
I don't know if that counts, Merle.
This is the truth. Lefty's son, Ricky, was married to my daughter, Pam. And I had been ugly that year and got into argument with my wife, Dot, at the time. And Lefty was taken up for me at his house, and we ended up at the boar's nest looking at each other on Christmas morning. And he looked at me, I swear he said this is another fine mess you've got me into, Kilgore. But that was the only Christmas I was away from home.
Jack?
I was away from home for 3 weeks this Christmas. I was on the beaches of North Hollywood, Florida. I had 3 whole weeks I had to be down there, just walking on the sand.
They hold you prisoner down there?
Yeah, I couldn't get back. June wouldn't let me come home. I loved it.
Jimmy?
Yeah, I entertained the troops several times for Christmas. And I didn't even have to leave home. It was South Louisiana. We played some nightclubs there, son. You talk about some wars.
Some of us just start cooking in November and go right through November, all of December, and into January, like I do at my place.
And we all are invited to your house after
You always have been, and I've always done that every year when there's maybe people that are not going home to be with their loved ones or going to be where they call home originally. They're always invited to Jeanie Pruett's house because there's enough food to go around and a lot of love for all of you.
Oh,
that's great. We know where we're going when this is over.
I guarantee you.
You've been
she
there a few
cooks good,
times.
too.
You've been there a few times. You know that's
You are a
pretty good
wonderful cook. You really, really are. And Johnny Russell is a wonderful eater,
You
right?
know what?
I was going to say that. He was a wonderful eater, aren't you, John?
Oh, yeah, and I've been to her house at Christmas.
You have.
I mean, I got thrown out one time so I could go to her house. I remember when you and Lefty were out, and I was out looking for y'all.
Bring you over to my house.
My wife said, why don't you just go find Lefty and Merl and get out of here?
Johnny, how about a little bit of Rudolph?
No, how about all of it?
Let's
do all of it.
Oh, wait a minute, I forgot what we're getting paid. Okay, a little bit of it.
Do all you want.
Hit me a vamp. Well, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph joining in the reindeer games. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Who's playing, Dickens?
I'm concentrating on my music.
Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. Whenever we do one of these Christmas things, I always do Rudolph. And the reason I do Rudolph so much is because Santa Claus talks in there, and I get mistaken for Santa Claus a lot. And it used to bother me. Like last year, I was in a restaurant, and a little kid came up to me and pulled on my jacket, and I looked down, and the little kid looked up at me and he said, "Thank you for the presents." And it used to bother me, you know. I used to be kind of, you know, I used to say, I ain't saying, you know. But then I got to thinking, besides Jesus and their mama and daddy, the one person in the world they love more than anything is Santa Claus.
Yes.
So I get a lot of love at Christmas time from people I don't even know. Not many presents, but a lot of love. So I look forward to Christmas.
Where did you spend Christmases as a young boy?
Oh, you mean, well, we spent first part of it in Mississippi, then we went to California and spent it out in California. You know, I don't remember a lot about Christmas because it was always just so nice and everything. There was nothing bad, you know. I just always looked forward to it. I do remember one time when I was about 4 years old, my sister, who was quite a bit older than I was, came in and said, I heard Santa Claus and the reindeers on the roof last night. I said, I did too. She said, no, you didn't.
What's the best Christmas present you ever got?
Well, it's going to be kind of strange, but I was working over in Pigeon Forge and hating it, and had signed a deal, or not signed a deal, but made a deal to go back the next year. And they fired me right before Christmas. So I wasn't going to have to go back. That's probably the best Christmas present I ever got. And you know what? I thought about it, and this is in, you know, like November. I got fired, and I'm not going to have any work the next year. Don't have anything, and it's going to be a rough year, you know. And this was just 2 or 3 years back. And then I thought, you know, I prayed and asked for this. And I remembered a sign that I had seen that said, if he causes the storm, how did that go? It said, if he causes a storm, he will guide the vessel.
I like that.
And I said, all right, I asked for it. I ain't going to worry about it. You guide the vessel. It's one of the best years I ever had in my life.
Wow. Amen.
So just let him have it.
That's terrific. Does anybody recognize this guy with the dobro over here? Oh, no. Well,
Slicked up, ain't
he cleans up good.
I'll tell you what, I didn't recognize him. I didn't see that orange hat. I didn't even know who he was, hardly.
Bashful brother Oswald, you do clean up well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's all talking about spending Christmas. I spent my Christmas in Whitehorse, Alaska. Me and Roy and the boys and Shot Jackson. And they brought me one little Dodger cornbread with one candle in it. Shot Jackson done that.
Were y'all entertaining troops?
Oh,
or
yes.
Just,
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got snowed in there. We had to stay about 3 days.
Roy used to do a lot of that, didn't he? I mean, he'd go around the world entertaining the
He went
troops.
around the world a lot of times, several times.
But that was the only time you were away from home at Christmas?
No, we was away in Japan and Alaska and Germany, Australia. We was gone nearly every Christmas.
Hmm. Well, I'm sure you brought a lot of joy to the people that you were entertaining.
I hope we did anyway. They liked it.
I know you did. Get Mac to hold your microphone there, and I think you do a beautiful job of Silent Night on the dobro, and I think we need to hear that. Key of C. Is today the key for C? Yeah. The day for C?
The people's key. Get my looks.
Bill, that was supposed to be one that I sang today.
Well, you
So
can
let's
sing
sing
it.
it now.
You want to sing it now?
All of us sing it now.
Okay, what key you do it in?
Same key.
Same key. All right, lead us.
G, I believe. Silent night. Everybody. Holy night. All is wrong. All is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child. Holy infant, so tender and mild. Sweet and heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Last verse. Silent night, holy night, Son of God, love's pure light, radiant beams from thy holy face, where the dawn of redeeming grace. Jesus, Lord, and thy birth. Jesus, Lord, and thy birth.
Me and him might start recording together. We did this a lot.
I think I overloaded my function for that time.
Well, it's been overloaded before.
Thank you, Chief, for teaching me that.
What was Christmas like when Bill Carlisle was a little boy?
Did they have it then?
Well, that was before my time. No, when I was a little boy, I was happy to get a stick of candy, an orange, and a little bunch of raisins. I was happy with that. And generally, if there was snow on at Christmas time, maybe a week before Christmas, well, my older brother and sister, they would sneak around and make something look like reindeer tracks in the snow and leave a stick of candy on the windowsill. And I thought Santa Claus had already been there. Yeah.
Did you ever get to eat ice cream snow?
Yeah.
Snow ice cream?
Yeah, snow
Vanilla
cream.
flavor?
Yeah. I like it. It's good. Don't cost much either.
Did the kids back then, on Christmas Eve night, would you leave a little something for Santa Claus so he'd have a stick of candy or something when he got there?
I was usually mad at him from last year.
Rather not be honest.
Don't do that.
I've got a friend down in Atlanta. Johnny was talking about that people think he's Santa Claus. Mac Wiseman's you've probably had people do that. I've got a friend in Atlanta who really, really looks the part 365 days a year. And he goes out in the malls and all at Christmas time, and the kids come up on his lap. And I asked him one time, I said, what is the funniest thing that a kid has ever said to you? And he started laughing. He said, a couple of Christmases ago, this little boy climbed up on his lap and started telling him what he wanted for Christmas. He said, wait a minute, son, wait a minute. Have you been a good boy? Said little kid kind of looked down at the floor and wasn't going to answer, and he said, now come on, said, you got to tell Santa Claus, said, have you been a good boy this year? Said little kid looked down and finally looked up, he said, well, I had a pretty good August.
Hey, William, let's get back to the days when we were growing up. I got a good story. I was 7 years old, and I'd always had a slingshot. Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, well, it'll be in the book. No. I always had a slingshot. We didn't have nothing else but a slingshot back. And what Bill Carlisle was saying, we got a little tangerine and an orange and a stick of candy, and that was it for Christmas. But one year when I was 7, I had prayed so long to get an air rifle. because I was sick and tired of that slingshot. You know? Man, because you couldn't hit nothing with that slingshot. Yeah, I mean, you shoot at bird. Well, yeah, if you practice. Well, I was
David
pretty good.
did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I know, but that was with the luck. This is about the same story here when I end this up. It'll be.
He had a big target.
But he had a big target. But I got this air rifle on Christmas at 7 because I didn't want to not believe in Santa Claus. So at 7, I still believed in Santa Claus. True story. And so it's just a one shot. It's a one-shot air rifle. So I finally figured out, I said, you know, I shot everything, you know, with that thing. I'd put my little shot here and spit it in that little hole. That's the only way, or you'd have to take it and put one in there. So I got smart and put them, well, I could do that pretty good. So one day I was out with a rifle. It was a little going hunting, you know, just like Dad did when he went out to get squirrels, rabbits. And I saw this little yellow bird. Oh, it's a pretty little bird. And I said, I know I can't hit that bird. And I aimed down at that thing, that little bitty yellow bird, and hit it, and it just fell off that limb. I swallowed every one of them damn things.
Serves you right.
I know it. Well, look, this ain't all the story. I started to cry. Oh, I started to cry. I didn't know what. Lord, you know, this is terrible. I ain't never hit a bird. You know, slingshot. I ain't never hit no bird. But I took that little bird and I went to the house and told Mama. And she said, well, I said, Lord, the Lord's going to give me. I know that. The devil, the devil's going to get me. And she said, well, you didn't mean to hit it. I said, no, Lord, Mama, I didn't mean to hit that little bird. So we she said, all right. She said, so she got a shoebox. We put it in the shoebox and went to the garden and dug a little hole and buried it. And Mama said prayers over that little bird. Well, just because of that air rifle, that Christmas air rifle.
Bill, my mother and I, of course, being from West Virginia, we were up there where there was 3 or 4 feet of snow.
Year round. We had snow all winter.
Yeah, we really did, and I love it to this day, and miss it down here in Tennessee when we don't have snow like right now. But one of the most
snow where I live.
Where do you live, Mother?
On the mountain.
She lives in Crossville. We one year. The most unique Christmas I think I ever experienced didn't have anything to do with me. I just happened to be a bystander, and I got to be in on it. But we went up to
Stoney's home.
Daddy's.
Yeah.
To Daddy's
Harmon,
home in Harmon, West Virginia. And we were visiting my grandmother, his mother, and having a nice time. And then we were up there for a few days for Christmas, you know. All of a sudden, the doorbell, or the knock on the door, and she goes to the door, and there must have been 25 adults come in a single file, sitting down like us, like all of us, all had sacks over their heads or sheets over their heads.
Yeah.
What?
Strange clothes, something that
Very
they
strange.
normally wouldn't wear.
The men would have on maybe high heels and hose and a dress. These were farmers. Now, wait a minute, Johnny Russell, don't go there. And they would sit there until you guessed who they were, while grandmother would serve them maybe pie or hot chocolate or something. And Mother said, oh, yeah, we used to do that when we were a kid. You called it what?
It's called bell snickling. We go bell snickling at Christmas time. Yeah.
Bell snickling?
Bell snickling.
Bell snickling.
Where did that name come from?
That's German.
German.
Oh, is it?
West Virginia, yeah.
And means what?
I don't know.
It means sit around in
people with funny clothes on.
It means sit around in a crowd guessing who each other is.
It was the most fun Christmas because everybody had a good time, you know.
We're going to go bell snickling after the show is over here. Jack Green, for many years, of course, as we all know, worked with the great Ernest Tubb and toured with him. And how many times you reckon you've played and been a part of the song Blue Christmas?
Well, I know I played at least, for 5 years I did it 5 times at least. I know. No, we would do it. We would do it every show around Christmas time because Ernest, that was his biggest Christmas song. And I guess he had probably the biggest hit on it until Elvis come along. And it's always great. Yeah.
Well, I think you ought to sing it.
Oh, I'd love to. The band's got it ready with that Jimmy Caps and all the boys.
I'll have a blue Christmas without you. I'll be so blue thinking about you. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing, dear, if you're not here with me. And when those blue snowflakes start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue, blue Christmas. Oh, son, now. I'll have a blue Christmas, I know, dear. I hope your white Christmas brings you cheer. And when you kneel your prayers on this Christmas Eve, will you feel the same, dear, as when you prayed with me? And when those blue heartaches start falling, that's when those blue memories start calling. You'll be doing all right with your Christmas of white, but I'll have a blue, blue Christmas.
All right, yes.
Great job.
Listen to that. Do that again. Could you do that again? Do it. Look here what Jimmy's got.
I don't know if I got the right one on. I got it next time. Here's the one I want to play.
Is that Merry Christmas in Cajun?
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
That's funny. I bet there's nobody in the room can do what Margo Smith can do. I walked up to her just before we came in the room here. I said, can you yodel Jingle Bells? And you did.
I'd never done this before, but I'll give it. I did it in the hallway. So Jingle Bells. I'll do a little of it. Hey, 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 hey.
Don't that hurt?
No, it feels good, actually.
She's almost singing my song, Bingle Jells.
Yeah, we're going to get to bingle jells before this is over. That comes right after the bell snickling.
I've never snickled a bell in my life.
Margo, I think you've got a serious song, don't you? You don't? Is it a fun song?
It's a fun song.
Oh, okay.
I'll sing it to Johnny.
That's fun already.
All right.
All right.
Merry Christmas, John.
Christmas is here.
Everything is going rightly. Everything's fine as can be. No worries, no problems, no troubles, 'cause I'm sitting on Santa's knee.
Oh, yes.
I got a man that's treating me rightly, and anyone can see he's my sweet daddy-o and he loves me. That's why I'm sitting on Santa's knee. What more could I ask? What more do I need? When every day is like Christmas Day, as long as he's with me, it's a melody.
Margo.
Perfect harmony. Oh yeah, baby. Plain as day, you can see that I'm sitting on Santa's knee. I'm playing.
Yes, Margo. Yes.
What more could I ask? Oh, I don't know. What more do I need? When every day is like Christmas Day, as long as he's with me, it's a melody. Perfect harmony. Oh, baby, baby. Plain as day, you can see that it's me, 'cause I'm sitting on Santa's knee. He's my sweet daddy-o and he loves me, 'cause I'm sitting on Santa's knee. Plain as day, you can see that it's me. I'm on Santa's knee.
Love it. Good job. Yes.
All I can say about that is ho ho. You know, I've realized something. Y'all all know I've been married a bunch of times. How
many?
Huh? Tell us about it. Well, I've had 3 wives. One of them died and 2 of them won't. But I've been married 4 times, and I just figured it out why. The wife is in charge of Christmas.
Absolutely.
I get tired of a Christmas style. I just change wives and then do Christmas a different way. And I do want to clarify one fact that she's married to one of my best friends, and I was just sitting in for him. I saw what he gave her for Christmas last year. That was fun.
Thanks. You know, he dated a girl a long time, and she looked so much like me, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. Didn't marry her, though. Don't know nothing about her Christmas. Always broke up with her right before Christmas.
So you wouldn't have to buy her a present?
Yeah. They all want a house.
All good housekeepers.
All 3 of my wives were good housekeepers. Next time I just find somebody I like and buy them a house. It's cheaper that way.
Billy Walker was sitting over here while Margo was sitting on Johnny Russell's lap. You were telling me that you and Jimmy Dickens used to do some kind of a routine where he would sit on your lap.
I'll tell you, we used to go on tour together, and there'd be these 30-day tours, and back then they would have, invariably, we'd have to go and promote the show on a noon television show, and it'd always have some woman, that was a real highfalutin woman doing these noon television shows, and they'd look down on us country music, well, they called us hillbillies then. And one day up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, Jimmy Dickens and I, we was just, well, we wasn't feeling no pain. We wasn't drinking or anything. We was just acting crazy. Yeah.
Come on, Jimmy. Show us.
And so, just to confuse this woman, I got Dickens on my knee, and I acted like that I was the ventriloquist, and Jimmy Dickens was the dummy, and it was hilarious.
Can y'all do some of that for us now? Everybody like to see that?
Yeah. We're going to change it.
What do you mean?
That time we had some kind of little routine. He's going to be Santa Claus this time.
All right, you want to come sit on his lap?
And
or you
I'll
gonna
be
go
a little boy. You sit right where you are, Bill. Let me have your hat. Bill, let me have your hat.
Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh, now they're after props.
Come on to Santa's lap.
There's something wrong with this. Gotta make different.
Hello there, Santa Claus.
Hello there, son.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine,
Got
Santa.
that on
Would
your
you
lap?
sit here on Santa's
Have it
lap?
on your lap,
Oh,
Santa Claus.
yes, yes. Aren't you a cute little fella?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You're not very big, are you?
No, I've always been little.
How long have you been this little?
I've been little all my life. When I was born, I thought little mama carried me in her purse till I was 2 years old.
Really?
Yeah, and
Really?
I had another little brother that was smarter than me. He stayed in the Cub Scout till he was 23 years old.
Is that right? Well, son, how many children were there?
Whole bunch.
A whole bunch.
I believe it was 15.
15.
15 children.
15 children?
There was 6 boys and 6 girls and 3 others.
Well, my, what were their names?
I don't remember them all. There's one little brother had a strange name. It was kind of clever because they named him after Mommy and Daddy. Daddy's name was Ferdinand, and Mommy's name was Lighter, and they named him Fertilizer.
Didn't that make him mean?
But he wasn't mean little kid. Mama took him downtown one time in a crowded department store, and he, in front of 100 people, he come up to my mommy and said, "I got to go to the bathroom," and embarrassed mommy.
Oh, yes, that
And
would.
she told him, she said, "If you ever want to do a thing like that again, you tell mommy that you want to whisper, and I know what you mean." And the next night I was laying on the couch, and he come up to me and said, "I want to whisper." And I said, "Okay, baby, whisper right there in my ear." You not running me off, are you, Santa Claus?
Yes, I am. I'm running you off. You might want to whisper in my ear.
That's great.
Oh, that was wonderful. That's very bell snickling, ain't it?
I love it.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank y'all. Jim Ed, can you follow that with a real pretty song, you think?
I would give this spot to my cleaners. What do you mean? That's great. I'll have to get me a guitar here, if I may. Can I?
Take Billy Walker's green guitar there. That'd look great for Christmas.
It doesn't. This.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a few songs at Christmas time that I always enjoy. There's. Well, I got handles on this chair, and they're trying to get a hold of my guitar over here some way. I hope I can remember this. I haven't done it since last Christmas. So will you hold the Christmas? There's an old Christmas card in an old dusty trunk, and it brings back sweet memories dear to me. Though it's faded and worn, it's as precious as the morn when I found it 'neath our first Christmas tree. I thrill with every word, every line. Guess I'm always sentimental round this time. Pardon me if a tear falls among my Christmas cheer. It's a memory of an old Christmas card. You know, I don't know why I get the feeling so sentimental about this time every year. But every time I see a Christmas card, I can't help reminiscing about that first Christmas you and I spent together. What a beautiful card you gave me that year. Why, I'll bet you looked through thousands of cards to find that one perfect card that you gave me. I thrill with every word, every line. Guess I'm always sentimental round this time. Pardon me if a tear falls among my Christmas cheer. It's a memory of an old Christmas card. Love that old song.
Didn't Jim Reeves record that?
Yes, he did. That was in an album that he had. Well, actually, I think he had a single on it, too.
What was Christmas like in Arkansas for the Browns?
Well,
did they have a slingshot?
You know, I was born and raised on a little hillside farm down on the banks of Tulip Creek bottom, and there was 4 of us, and we didn't have a lot. But Christmas was still, as everybody has intimated here, we had all kind of oranges and, you know, fruit and nuts and things. And Daddy, I remember one year I wanted a slingshot. So Daddy took one of the things off of the roof of the house and made me a slingshot. You know, back then we had what you call them? Shingles, yeah. So he took a shingle off the house and made me a slingshot. I don't know if it leaked or not. I hope it didn't. But yeah, no, the house. I remember.
Leaky slingshot. Yeah.
I don't know that I should even say this because I still believe in Santa Claus. But I remember the first year I found out Santa Claus didn't come to see me was Mom and Daddy gave me a watch, and they said we were not at home that particular Christmas. And they woke me up. We wwere staying at one of my uncle's houses, and I was asleep on the floor with 3 or 4 others. You know, all of us down there on the floor sleeping. But there was there was big families back then. But Christmas was always the happiest time of the year because there was always so much to eat, and everybody was so happy, and it was joyful. We didn't have a lot of snow down there, but I remember Christmases very well. They were fun.
Did you ever work on Christmas? Did you ever perform on Christmas?
Oh, yeah. You're talking about after I got in the business? Yeah, but not a lot. Christmas is always a time, I've always felt that, well, now, you know, Roy and Little Jimmy, and I know so many of them, entertained our soldiers at Christmas time, and I did that one time. But Christmas has always been to me, you know, time for the family, and I've always spent it with my family. I love, from Thanksgiving, as Jeanie has said over here, there's always something on the table from Thanksgiving through Christmas. And I gain about 50 pounds every year between her house and mine.
Talking about working on Christmas, a songwriter friend of mine was telling me the other day that he has a friend that they write a lot of songs together. And he said this guy is just one of these real intense songwriters, that's all he lives for is to write songs. And he said on Christmas morning one year, about 10 o'clock, this knock came on his door. And he went to the door, this guy was standing there, and he said, "Hey, man, let's write a song." And my friend said, "Do you know what day it is?" He said, "Yeah, man, it's Wednesday." That song we started off with a while ago, Christmas Time's a Comin', Mac Wiseman said he had a story about that. Were you on the record when Bill Monroe recorded that?
No, but I knew Tex Logan, who wrote the song, and, of course, Bill had the first record of it. And I think if we get a camera on Glenn Duncan over there, he might tell everything I thought was interesting. Somebody walked up and asked Bill if Jimmy Martin wrote Christmas Time's a Comin'. And what did he tell him, Glenn?
Well, no, sir, he didn't write that number at all. Why, Jimmy Martin don't even believe in Christmas.
He got no chin.
That's about as good a Bill Monroe as I've ever heard. Glenn Duncan. That was good.
He went on to say, That boy don't even have a chimney. He don't believe in Santa Claus.
Dale Reeves was telling me that he tried to do a little business. You had a business deal going on Christmas with Merl Tillis?
Christmas Eve, in 1967, 68, I was going to sell him my bus. And so Merl said, well, I'll buy it. And I said, well, let's go to the house, and so we can call the insurance people and get everything straight, because Merl was just going to pay cash for it. And I said, but well, you got to have insurance on this thing, And so, lo and behold, we stopped at Tootsie's or someplace down there. I can't remember where. Well, and
that kind of Christmas.
Yeah, it was a Christmas Eve. Yeah, it got worse than that because I had something at the house too.
Was Kilgore?
And we were no, Kilgore wasn't there this time. No, he wasn't there this time. But so we called. I had a hard time getting hold of the insurance man, and so Mel and I kept drinking, and it's getting like 12:30, a quarter of one, and he hadn't called me back. So I tried to call him again, and Mel said, "Well, why don't I just call mine?" And I said, "Okay, try yours." I said, "It's Christmas Eve, you know." He said, "Yeah, I know." So he tried to call his, and he finally got him, and he put insurance on the bus. It was getting to be about 1:30 then, and so we had a few more little nips, and I had to put the kids' stuff together. So Mel stayed another hour putting kids' stuff together, and you ain't never seen nothing trying to put A into C and C into B, them little things they had. We had that thing, my wife had to redo the whole thing. I'll guarantee it. But nevertheless, Mel says, well, he said, I'll just drive the bus on home. I said, no, Mel. I said, man, you can't drive that bus. I said, you got to have a driver. I'm telling you. He said, what do you mean I can't drive it? I said, you can't drive that bus. He said, then, hell, I don't want to buy it then.
We've told so many Merl Tillis stories on these get-togethers. I want everybody to know Merl was invited to be here to defend himself, and no, he just he's on a tour and said he couldn't make it, but it's all in fun and in the spirit of a dear friend of ours. I was thinking, I guess Johnny Wright and Kitty Wells have spent 60-something Christmases together now? You guys have celebrated your 60th wedding anniversary?
That's correct.
Wow.
Think it'll last, Kitty?
I think it's 60. And when you get my age, you forget. But we celebrated our 60th anniversary November the 2nd down at the Opera House. Grand Ole Opera House.
Tell me about some of the most memorable Christmases. Have you guys always been home at Christmas? Have you been on the road or what?
Well, no. Back in 1960, Jack and myself and Kitty and all of our group, we went to Germany for 21 days. Germany, Italy, and France. And back then, I wouldn't ride an airplane. I told Jolly Joyce out of New York, called and wanted us to go over there. And I said, well, I'll go, but I'm not flying across the ocean in a plane. So he said, well, I'll get you a boat ticket. So we got on the SS United States out of New York, and we rode 4.5 days on that boat, getting to Le Havre, France. So we landed in Le Havre, France, and we had 21 pieces of luggage, including our guitars and everything. So they met us in a Volkswagen van in Le Havre, France. So I was the smallest one in the group. Jack was pretty good size, and then all the rest of them, I didn't want Kitty to ride back there. So I had to ride back with the luggage. I was all scrooched up in that thing. So we spent 21 days over there. We was over there for Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. We worked the military bases, and we had, 3 shows a day, wasn't it? Yeah. We did the enlistment club matinee, and then we did the NCO club, and then the officers club at midnight. So we had, it was really work 21 days. And when we finished, I said, you know what? I think I'll swap these boat tickets for airplane tickets. So I went down to the Pan American and I asked them if we could swap the boat tickets back for, for airplane tickets. They said, yeah, because they're worth more than the airplane tickets anyway. So we flew out of, where was it, Italy? Rome, Italy. We flew out of there and back to, I think went to Columbus, Ohio, and then changed planes back into Nashville. But
All
it
of a
was
sudden,
really
you wasn't
good
afraid
trip.
of flying, huh?
I wasn't. That was my last boat. Well, dude, they played the music. This is the funny part. There's a guy on there from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He and his wife, they had a band playing, and he danced every tune they played, So we got off the boat. He says, "Bye-bye. Hope to see you again." I said, "Well, bye to you, and I hope I meet you again." So about a year later, we went in Minneapolis, Minnesota to check in the hotel, and he says, "Hey, remember me on the boat?" He was the manager of the hotel at Minneapolis.
Bill, I was on a boat with Johnny and Kitty, and I told a joke, and the guy died. He laughed so hard he died, and Johnny came up and said, "This woman wants to buy a picture from you, So I said, "Oh, okay." So I sold her a picture for $1, and he said, "I want to take it home to show the kids who killed their daddy."
Are you serious?
That's true. They were there.
It's a true story. Whatever you do, don't tell that story.
Oh, yeah. Don't tell that story today.
It was a funny joke.
It must
The guy laughed so much he died. They put him on cold storage down in the bottom of the boat.
And every time I passed the widow, she couldn't get off the boat, see? I said, "Ma'am, I sure am sorry."
Goodness gracious. And he charged her $1 for the picture, yeah.
And I could have at least given her back. Business is business.
That's cheaper than a lawyer.
Kitty, what's the most memorable Christmas present Johnny ever gave you? Has he ever given you one?
New car.
A new car?
Yeah.
This Johnny Wright gave you a new car?
Yeah.
I worked hard for it, too. I tell you. I saved up enough money working Davis Cabinet Company to, when I got married, I bought her a car with it. Didn't cost, I think, $1,200 for a new one back then.
Not this one.
Not the last one. But
last one.
Cost a little more than that.
What have you given Johnny for Christmas?
What about giving me for Christmas?
it's been so long.
A lot of love.
I can't remember.
That's it, yeah. 60
yeah,
years.
a lot of love,
Kitty, have you ever done a Christmas album?
Yes, I have.
Sing us a Christmas song.
All right, let's go on. Everybody join in. Let's start out with the chorus. Only on page 4 because I don't know the rest of that song.
You want to sing the chorus first?
The chorus first and then the verse first. You get Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Racing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. go. I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lame, misfortune was his lot. He got into a drifted bank, and then we got upside. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open
sleigh.
Oh, that's
Who is
good.
Miss Fanny Bright?
I don't know.
That's a great name, isn't it? Miss Fanny Bright.
Shep Woolley recorded. Was it an answer to Jingle Bells? Or,
Oh, well, no, it's not an
it may
answer.
not have been you. It may have been Ben.
I just woke up one morning. I'd had a bad night, and it. I don't know.
Was Kilgore and Lefty there?
But I call it bingle jells. It just came out backwards, everything. I put it in about F, boys. That's a different F. Bingle jells, bingle Wally A. Oh, fuck one, it is root tied in a hunt or sloping A. Hey! Bingle jells, bingle Wally A. Oh, fuck one, it is root tied. No, well, you gotta listen to the verse now.
Yes.
Smack. Smashing through the dough in a hunt or sloping A, or the guild's way full, wiping on the lane, bells on bob rails ting, picking mirrored sprite. What fun it is riding sing. I almost got it right. Bingle jells, bingle Wally A. Oh, fuck one, it is root tied in a hunt or sloping A. Hey! Bingle jells, bingle all do it. Oh, fuck one, it is root tied in a hunt or sloping A. No? Yeah. Well, you get some right, some wrong. I don't know.
Jeannie, you said you had some kind of story you wanted to share
we were
with us.
talking about childhood memories, Christmas memories from when you were little, and Dale was talking about him and Jim Ed both, how poor they were, but my family was 10 kids, all in one family, 5 girls and 5 boys, and my granddaddy lived on the same old country place with us, and he had 3 sons. So there was always a house full to feed and a house full to wash and iron for, but my mama mostly every year, what she'd try to do for, maybe if she couldn't do something for all of us, 1 or 2 or 3 one year and 1 or 2 or 3 the next year. So it came my year to get the new Christmas dress. She got out the sewing machine and sewed up the Christmas dress, and I put it on and got on the school bus. And the thing about the fabric that the dress was made out of, it was made out of Purina feed sacks. Used to get them sacks, and you get enough of them, it matched up, and wash them all on, make clothes out of them. So I got on the school bus that day, and I was so proud of my little dress, hunting me a good place to sit on the bus. I went back about middle ways of the school bus and sat down, and we stopped at the next farm, and one of the other country kids got on and had on a shirt made out of exactly the same feed sacks. Well, when you're about 10 or 12 years old, you know that every other kid on that school bus knows that you got on poor clothes. So this girl stood up on the front of the bus and she hollered, "Come on back here and sit by Jeannie, you'll fit right in." So that being my Christmas gift from my mother, I cried all the way to school like a little old country kid will do, and had my feelings hurt all day and tried to hide in my new dress. And even though I was proud of it, I was embarrassed and ashamed, too, because somebody else on the school bus was just as poor as I was and dressed just as shabbily, probably. But when I got home that afternoon, I went and told my mother, I said, "Mama, my dress was the hit of the whole school. Everybody just loved it. They just thought it was the prettiest dress they'd ever seen. So my Christmas gift back to my mother was never to let her know that somebody had hurt my feelings about her handiwork. Told Dolly Parton that story, and years later she wrote, "Coat of many colors." I don't think that had a thing to do with her thoughts. Maybe it happened in her lifetime, and most country kids that are poor knows exactly how that felt.
I got a dress one time, but I did not. I always had a thing because I never got a new dress. Never had very many. I wore, my brother's clothes most of the time. When I was a kid, I was a tomboy. And, but anyway, I got this little dress, and I knew where it had come from the neighbors down the road. And this little blonde-headed girl I didn't like anyway because she had pretty blonde curly hair, and I had straight brown hair, and I didn't like her. And so that one, I don't know.
She
It was
grew
her.
up to be Jeannie
It was
Seeley,
her.
yes.
Anyway, they gave me this dress, and I knew it was a hand-me-down from hers. So I put it on and went outside and climbed up in the mulberry tree and got mulberry stains all over it. It was awful. I was a brat. But anyway, I was ashamed later, but not then. And I only got one doll in my life when I was about 6 or 7 years old. I got the one doll. And my brother grabbed it away from me, and on the back it said unbreakable. It wasn't. He threw it on the concrete to see if it was unbreakable, and it wasn't. But years later, one of my favorite singers is B.J. Thomas. I think he has one of the most beautiful voices. In fact, just a few years ago, they called me on the 23rd of December and said, "You've got to come for a Christmas party." And I said, "But you live in Dallas, somewhere." And she said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "I can't come down. It's the 23rd of December. I can't come down there for a Christmas party and everything." She said, "No, there's a plane ticket waiting for you at the airport. Just go." And said, "You'll get here about 5 o'clock and just change your clothes or whatever for the party, and you get a 5 o'clock a.m. back to Nashville and come to the party." And I said, "Okay, why not?" So I did exactly that. Caught that plane, stayed up, all night, partied all night for the Christmas party, came home the next morning. But they gave me the only doll I have now, besides one that my mother made. My mother had a collection of dolls, and she made a Jan Howard doll, which has, it has exact replica of everything that I wore the first time I went on stage. Little gold sandals and the whole bit. And in her handwriting, this little slip of paper pinned to the skirt that says Jan Howard doll. But anyway, BJ and Gloria gave me this beautiful doll. It's about this tall. And they said, "We knew you never had a doll. We want you to have a doll." So I still have that doll. But I want to tell you the most precious Christmas to me, it's one that really stands out. I had a lot of precious Christmases. Anytime all my sons were home was a precious Christmas. But the first time we moved to Nashville, they were still little. And I had moved to California when they were 1, 3, and 5 years old. And they didn't really remember snow. And so when we moved to Nashville in 1960, the only thing they talked about is we're going to have a white Christmas. It's going to snow for Christmas. Well, there was no sign of snow. Anyway, it got close to Christmas. There was no sign of snow. The weatherman, they would sit up at night and watch the weather report and wait for some sign of snow. There was nothing. And I thought, it's got to snow. It's got to snow. So as a positive movement, I went out and bought 3 sleds. Bright, shiny sleds. They got to have snow. And the night before Christmas Eve, I always went up and talked to men, before I went to bed, regardless of what time it was or how old they were. One of them was saying his prayers, and he said a P.S. Please let it snow. He was saying his prayers. And I want you to know, Christmas Eve morning, we got up, and it was like a picture postcard. It was snow and the ground was covered, and they were so happy. It didn't matter. It was Christmas Eve. It wasn't Christmas morning. They didn't get their sleds till the next day. They didn't even know they had them. But it snowed. that first Christmas in Nashville, and that was a beautiful Christmas.
It's a great story. Joe?
When I was a little bit over 50 years ago, as I recall, I attended East Van Zant Elementary School in Fort Worth. And my dad was working then, making pretty good money, and that Christmas he bought me a horse that you could ride up and down the sidewalk. It had pedals on it like a bicycle. And the horse would go back and forth and go up and down. I cleaned up that neighborhood with Indians and cowboys and the whole thing. But that horse reminded me of what we used to do. And I don't know where you came from in Georgia, but did you ever plaque when you lived down there? You plaqued. Jack knows what that is. And Jan plaqued. Well,
heard of that.
You never heard of it. No. Well, you never lived. Because when I got that horse, I'd always plaque I was Ken Maynard.
Well, that kind of plaque.
Plaque I was Ken Maynard, right. And he had the biggest white horse and the biggest hat and the whole thing. So I'd always plaque us him. And one time, the big boys wouldn't let me be Ken Maynard. I went under the bed for 3 days and wouldn't be anybody.
Gene Shepard. Grew up where? Oklahoma?
I think I can remember back that far.
Come on.
I was born in Pauls Valley, but I grew up in Hugo. And like everybody else here, I used to think Purina was the largest clothing manufacturer in the world. It was wrote right across my drawers back there, Purina.
You mean this Hugo?
But then we moved to Hugo, Oklahoma. And like everybody here, I never ever got anything for Christmas. I remember one Christmas, my cousins, they lived in the city. They was kind of rich. We thought they was rich. And they come out. Of course, my mother was the greatest cook in the world. And for some reason or other, and there was 10 kids in our family. My other aunt and uncle had 17. And then, but everybody would always show up at our house because they knew that my mother was going to feed everybody. But one of my cousins had got this doll. It was beautiful. And me and my sisters, we just drooled over it, but my aunt wouldn't let them take it out of the back seat of the car. You leave that in there, they'll get that doll dirty. And we just wanted to touch it, and we was not allowed to touch that doll. We just, the only thing we could do is just sit and look at it. But my daddy, we was all, even the girls, we was tomboys. He would carve out these little guns, and he'd put a clothespin on the back of it. And he'd take an old inner tube, and he'd cut strips of rubber, but if he caught us shooting one another above the waist, we got our little zip guns taken away from us. And I could outrun a long distance phone call. And I know I don't have a doll. Well, I have Benny, and he's the biggest. He's the most precious doll in the world. And between me and Benny, we have 10 kids, 1 girl and 9 boys.
Oh, man.
And it's, believe me, when I cook,
She'll never get a date, will she?
She's the oldest one.
Keep them run off.
She's the oldest one, and we're fixing to have our 23rd grandchild. And, we got custody of we have a grandchild that has custody of us. And of course, we dote on all of them. And our youngest right now is a little 3-year-old granddaughter, and that's the meanest kid I ever seen in my life. Boy, I tell you what, my bare hand and her little bare bottom, they ain't no strangers, let me tell you. But I totally, nobody, the only thing that's important, we always look at material things. That's not important at Christmas time. Not really. The most important thing is family, and more than anything else is love. We would get an apple and an orange and maybe a banana and hard candy, and we would covet that. I'd suck on a piece of candy, and I'd save the paper, and I'd put it back in there, and the next day I'd suck on it a little bit more, But that's what we've done, so we could make it last, But we never missed anything because, as you say in your song, our table was always filled with love.
Well, that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Absolutely what it's all about.
And sometimes I get worried sometimes. Well, I spent $300 on this grandchild, so I got to spend $300. Are you kidding me? Go through 23 grandkids and spend $200 a piece on them. The National War Debt ain't nothing. Yes, yes.
What do you do at Christmas now? How will you spend this Christmas? Will all the family come to your house?
Yes, I do not. I have never spent Christmas away from my family. That's one. I insist on being home at Christmas with my family. I always have in the 45 years that I've been an entertainer. Because that's the most important day of the year.
T. Tommy.
You're talking about how poor you grew up. My dad hauled logs all of his life. And it was a hard life. You know, he could make $100 this week, and Monday 2 tires would blow out on his trucks. And you know, so he wound up with $25 that week. But I'd get more than some of you were getting. I'd get a little box of sparkles. They cost a nickel, an apple and an orange. And one year I got a cap pistol. It shot one time, and I got a little roll of caps, a little box of caps, and you tore them off one at a time, stuck it in there, and shoot. But little red roll. But Fulton Sneed, a boy whom I grew up with, his father was a dentist, well-to-do, could pay all of his bills in Osaka. But Fulton got a new train set, an electric train set. Well, I could go up there and I would stand around and I couldn't touch it. Somebody was saying couldn't touch it. And I hold my hands behind me and look at that thing. Well, I told my wife this years ago. And of course, I never got the train, you know. It was just a sad story. But on our 25th wedding anniversary, which was 40-something years ago, she bought me an electric train set, which I still have.
That's great. Oh, that's great.
Play with it?
Yeah. Y'all can come over and play with it if you want to.
Jim.
I got a Cajun story about Christmas that's not so sad.
Good.
It's I mean, you know, those are real stories y'all are telling, and this is a real story I'm gonna tell. Except it wasn't sad except for the Cajun after he ate the gumbo, because he played a Cajun dance and was a musician, and he came home that night, and he had had a few grease cutters, you know, during the dance because it was customary, and so he came home and. He heated the gumbo, and he had some, and he told his wife the next day, he said, honey, I don't know what you did. That gumbo sure wasn't seasoned much. So I didn't make any gumbo. That was the dishwater you indulged in. And this is a true story. And someone near and dear to us, it was his dad. I won't name him. It really happened. It made him sick. You got it closed.
Give Bill Carlisle the microphone there.
This year, I just wanted to tell you that we were a poor family. My mother, we were so poor that she took in washing, and we kept it.
Bill, let me say this. There's one thing about it, you know, when we was children, we're all from big families. 11 kids in my family, and they were all gone. Time, you know, I was grown up because I was the youngest one of the whole 11. Yeah. And going to school, I couldn't wait for school to get out for the Christmas holidays, because I knew that day, as soon as I got home, and I had to run about a mile, maybe it's a little bit over a mile, to the house after the school bus dropped me off. And I couldn't wait to get there that day for me and Mama to go to the woods to find us a Christmas tree. Uh-huh. And we went out and we found the prettiest one. At least we thought it was the prettiest one. And we'd take it home, and how she decorated it was put little red ribbons on it, white ribbons, blue ribbons, whatever color and got those pine cones and painted them all different colors, or what kind of paint you had, white, and some of them were even black, and some of them blue paint, and put them on there. And that was the greatest time of the Christmas that there was, you know. And then, it's like Tommy said, then I got an apple, a tangerine, an orange, and a piece of candy. And that was it. And that was the greatest times of my life, looking forward to cutting that tree.
I heard Jeanie Pruett say paper chains. Did you make those in school? Because
yeah,
we
we
always
did.
did.
Glue, you know. Well, we didn't always have glue. Mama would make up flour and water to make us a paste, you know. And then the kids would take their little scissors and cut them little strips of paper and paint them a different color with our crayons and pull them together, you know, and paste them and make a long chain, and that'd be part of the Christmas tree decoration. And popcorn, we did.
And
Cranberries.
And we had somebody that
Cranberries.
smoked cigars in the neighborhood, and they used to save them little things that come around the cigars, and we'd save them, and anything that have a little shine to it, we'd hang it on the tree. I guess that's the reason I like shiny stage clothes today, because we didn't have much shine except at Christmas when we was kids.
Mac, what were you whispering over there? I heard something. Hand him the microphone there, Wilmily.
What did you say? Because you didn't have much shine?
Didn't have much shine when we was kids except at Christmas time. Yours came in a bottle, Mac. I know what.
Well, I was just talking. Yeah, we had some shine, but we drank it.
We drank it.
Hey, Billy. Billy Walker, didn't you spend some time in an orphanage?
Yeah, I did.
Well, were you ever in the orphanage at Christmas?
Oh, are you kidding? Oh, I spent 5 years in there. When I was 4, my mother passed away, and so my dad couldn't keep. He had 8 kids at the time, and he couldn't keep us all together. And so he put me and 2 of my brothers in the orphan's home, and I suppose one of the most memorable Christmases that I ever had. Because when you're in an orphan's home, you feel like the whole world has left you behind as far as love and being around family, and you're just there. And so one year, I got a football. Me and 2 of my brothers got a football between the 3 of us. And that's probably the most memorable Christmas that I ever spent, because before then, we really got nothing. And this fellow was kind of a philanthropist, and he got a Sunday school class to sponsor me and my 2 brothers, and we got a football for Christmas. And it's one of the most... 3 kids playing with 1 football doesn't seem like much to kids today, because they're spoiled to death. They don't know what receiving gifts is really all about, especially when you have nothing. But that was a good Christmas.
Great story. Gene, sing a song. Lead us, we'll all sing.
Well, as you know, my sinuses are, and at Christmas time.
That's your Christmas present.
I don't know. We done this on television last year, Bill, and
yes, and it was beautiful. I saw it.
I hope I can get through it. Everybody sang real loud to cover me up. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye, oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Sing, choirs of angels, sing in exclamation. Oh, sing, all ye citizens of Bethlehem. Glory to God, glory in the highest. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Christ the Lord.
Hallelujah. Our God is great.
Good job, Jingle. Good job.
You better keep them sinuses, baby. You sound good.
Did you guys grow up? Did you go to church on Christmas? No, Johnny grew out. Yeah. Did you go to church or some kind of a religious thing on Christmas Eve, or was that part of it?
Well, it was in Alabama where I was raised. You know, you'd always go to church for the Christmas celebration. And we used to have what the church people that run the programs would call a little Christmas cantata, you know, where everybody would get up and sing something, or they'd have a little program where the wise men, kind of what you see now, you know, I suppose maybe on television, was things we did back then just in our little church, and everybody in the community would come. It'd be lots of fun.
Bill, I got to tell this. This was shortly after Christmas, but we didn't get to go to church every Wednesday and Sunday like we do now. We got to go once a month when the traveling preacher comes through at the schoolhouse. And I've got to tell this, it don't have that much to do with the Christmas, but it was wonderful. My mother would get us in there and she'd sock us down in them number 3 wash tubs and scrub us with that lye soap till the hide come off. It took it 3 days to grow back, and then she'd do it again. We had the Lord's Supper one night, and we had this wonderful preacher. I'll never forget him. His very common name, Brother Richard Smith. We loved this man, but he was wonderful. But he had a tendency to, well, he'd nip a little bit. Well, actually, he'd get drunk. But we loved him. And this one night, this is a few weeks after Christmas, we'd had the Lord's Supper, and he was leaving the schoolhouse that night, and he was in his old car, and he got to weaving, and the sheriff was behind him, and the sheriff pulled him over. The sheriff walked up there, and he pecked on his window and looked in and said, "Brother Smith, you been drinking?" "Oh, no, Sheriff, you know me." Well, you know, the sheriff did know him. You know, he looked in the back seat, and he saw them bottles back there, and he said, "Brother Smith, what's in them bottles back there?" He said, "It's just water, Sheriff. It's just water." The sheriff grabbed one of them bottles and uncorked it, and he smelled it. He said, "Brother Smith, that's wine in them bottles." Brother Smith said, "Oh, hallelujah, he's done it again."
She wouldn't put us on.
Oh, that was a setup.
Back.
In the spirit of right now, you know why the wise men were covered with soot, don't you? They came from afar.
Hello.
Tea Tommy, you want to follow that?
That same preacher was driving down the road. And he turned the car over. And this fellow came along behind him, and he got out of his car and checked and said, "You all right?" And the preacher said, "Oh, yeah, the Lord was with me." He said, "You better let him ride with me, because you're going to kill him."
I was going to tell you, like Jeanie, we went to church at Christmas time, and they always had a big Christmas tree decorated, and they'd always have gifts for all the children. And they'd hand out, Santa Claus would come, and he'd hand out the gifts, and of course we had church. It was where everybody got together and enjoyed it. And one more thing I want to say, Kitty sung about the Jingle Bells. My grandfather Leary had a sled, looked like one of them sleighs, and when winter come, Christmas time, and they got the big heavy snows, he'd fix hay in that sled, and then he'd put the bells. He had bells that he hung on the horse's harness, and hitch them up to that sled and ride us kids, us girls, all over the farm up there at Valley Head, West Virginia.
Bill, of course, everybody knows why we celebrate Christmas. And one of the great things that I remember from my Sunday school days, we had a Sunday school teacher named Mr. Charlie Addison. And in describing the time of Jesus, 2,000 years ago, we had an old gentleman in Osaka named Mr. Johnny Ott. Everybody called him Uncle Johnny. He weighed about 100 pounds soaking wet, but he was close to 100 years old. And Mr. Addison described the time of Jesus being on this earth as 20 Uncle Johnnies ago. And if you stop and think about it, that's not very long. 20 Uncle Johnnies. That's about the only thing I remember from my Sunday school days.
Have you guys ever been to a Christmas Eve service where the preacher would light a candle and give a candle to every person there, and he would say, Jesus is the light of the world, and he'd light the candle, and you'd walk out singing Silent Night? I cannot do that without, the tears come down. That's one of the most touching things at Christmas time to me, to all of us. Take that one candle and then suddenly see the whole church lighted like that.
Bill, it makes me mad when somebody, I love to get Christmas cards, and I hope everybody keeps sending them, but I can't stand it when they put Merry Xmas, because they're taking Christ out of Christmas when they do that, and that's not nice at all.
I think that's why Red Foley wrote, let's put Christ back in Christmas. I always think of him when I see that. I was going to say, I was thinking of John over there being a good Santa Claus, and Margo sitting on his lap all that while ago. It was so cute, and as we're talking about the church services for Christmas, I think everybody might remember Mary Lynch Jarvis, Chet's secretary, and dear friend, my best friend back then. And anyway, she's passed now, but she'd asked me to come out and sing at the church out in Franklin, and so they got this farmer he was going to stay out in the truck till time. He was going to be the one that would play Santa Claus, and he was a skinny man. So, but they just couldn't find one. I don't know where you were at the time, John, but I'll tell you what. Anyway, I was singing, and Mary was playing, and all of a sudden I was singing, "Here come," and that was his cue when he heard me singing, "Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus." He was supposed to come in with the bag over his shoulder and everything, so he was coming in all right, but all of a sudden I could see the belt and the pillow was showing and everything, and so I just ran down the church, and I was trying to hold him and trying to pull up his, put the pillow back and everything else. And anyway, and he didn't know what was happening. He was just about to run over me to get on down there, because he had the sack and everything. But anyway, that was one of the most wildest things, because all the kids were looking, and I was trying to pull his britches up and trying to get the pillow stuck back. And I said, I'll declare, I don't know how much I'll have to pay him, but I will find a fat man for next year, Santa Claus. And we did. But anyway, I think of that. But also, too, we always had, when we were talking about the dolls a while ago, I was sitting here thinking we do have a lot of similar stories coming from a time of the Depression and all of that. And so many times I feel like I'm so dumb. I've never been known to be quite so smart in this business. But I was sitting here thinking, as I'm listening to everybody's stories, I might be smart after all, because we've got such similar stories, and I put mine in a book for Christmas.
It's a wonderful book, too. It's a wonderful book.
I just happened to have it.
And hold it up and show it.
And but anyway, this little book, it's been such a joy, because in spite of the illness, I was able to do it. And as you know, Bill, you were kind enough to give a word of praise. But speaking of the dolls, the boys wanted the BB guns and all that, and the girls always wanted the dolls. And I was wanting a doll, and my story was that I wanted the doll so bad because I was going to be 10. My birthday's on the 30th of December. So it was always, usually I never had a birthday party till I had the one, I think, at Opryland, where all you girls came with me. It was my 60th or something like that. But anyway, because it came so close to Christmas, it's always, Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah, and Happy Birthday, too. But anyway, that never bothered me much. But that Christmas, I knew that if I didn't get the doll, if Santa Claus didn't bring it then, I was actually going to be too big, because I was going to turn 10, and I just knew that after you got a certain age, more things went to the little ones, and it's everybody just didn't get everything. We got the wagon all filled with the oranges and the apples, and we never saw oranges any other time till Christmas. But I didn't get the doll that year, but I got a note from Santa Claus, which thrilled all my brothers and sisters. Everybody was jumping up and down, so excited over the note, and I didn't quite get it, really what it really meant. And so I went out in the barn and cried. And as I was out in the barn, I went back and told my father this later, but when I was in the barn, it's like I really did see an angel, and what I thought was an angel at the time. And I realized then that, and all the animals were all gathered around me. And I went back in and I told my daddy, I said, I saw an angel in the barn. Daddy had thought my imagination was getting too much, but I truly knew. And the message that I got was that what it was really about, Oh, Jean's showing me that. But, she says, read it. But anyway, it was, my fingers trembled as I reached for the paper, and with everyone watching, I carefully opened it, and there in plain handwriting was a message from Santa Claus. Dear Skeeter, I'm so sorry, but I ran out of dolls before I got to Dry Ridge. Santa knows so many little girls from all over the world who wanted dolls too, and the elves can only make so many. I hope you will understand. Love, Santa. But what I really learned in the barn was that what the real reason was all about, and it was the hope that I had that as a kid that had the feed sack clothes. And to tell you the truth, more of my clothes came from a system they had in those days. What the government was called relief. You know, it was a relief system where they brought you new clothes. The boys got the same overalls, the girls got the same dresses. And I thought at that time, boy, I was just the height of fashion because so many people were copying me. You know, everybody had a dress just like mine. You know, but anyway, that's what I learned, I think, from that whole thing was that you do. And every child has that. And that's the gift that nobody else can give you or can take away from you. You know, that it wasn't in the doll, it's not in the train, and it is the one whose birthday we celebrate, Jesus, and he's there, and he's everywhere, and I got lots of dolls these days. I got 29 dolls just since this book has come out, and you know, Christmas ain't even over yet. You know.
It's a beautiful story, Skeeter, and a beautiful book from a beautiful person.
Yeah. I read it. It's great. I read it, Bill. I read it, and of course I cried.
Oh, thanks, Margo.
It's a beautiful book. The illustrations are beautiful in the book too. The drawings and everything.
Yes, and Kathy Pelletier helped with that.
She did a tremendous job. Yeah. Do you guys? I'm sitting here, and you're talking about getting the dolls and everything. Do you guys get Christmas presents from your fans? Do fans send you gifts and all at Christmas time?
This is one right here. This is one from some of my fan club people right here. I had it on earlier today, and I wanted to show it because it is pretty. It's handwork. And it's all hand drawn, and it's all hand painted, and it's just a little denim shirt that they embellish and fix up, and it's got cowboy boots because she knows I love them.
Purina's right at the bottom, yeah.
It says Purina on it somewhere, doesn't it? Yeah. Santa Claus with a cowboy hat on. Jan Crum made that for me in my fan club.
I believe I got this one from a fan. It's a little dunce cap, folks.
Well, since the book came out, I actually got a group. Someone had just brought me. Sorry, Shep. Someone just brought me to the Opry a little barn and a doll for each kid. They got them named from the names in the book: Buddy, Pumpkin, Poochie, Doozer, and they really wanted to choke me from putting all their nicknames in there. Anyway, I hope I got them all: Buddy, Poochie, Doozer, Pumpkin, and Bose. And of course, Skeeter, yeah. And anyway, but they brought me this gift to the Opry and left it out at the guard gate. And it's like all the little dolls, different sizes with all our names on them, and the barn, and the dog, and the tree with all the popcorn around it. And they didn't even, didn't even get to see them to say thanks. But it's a really nice present.
Well, country music fans, as we all know, are the greatest people in the world and the most unselfish people, and they share so much of themselves. And
Celie makes birdhouses and gives them for Christmas gifts to some folks.
Yeah, I made Jeanie a little log birdhouse because she has a log house. I just want to say that y'all probably noticed that I never sing "I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas." I grew up in northwestern Pennsylvania. It was not a dream. We always had white Christmas and white Halloween and white Easter most of the time. But you know what? I feel so sorry for this whole group, everybody growing up poor, because I've always had everything. I've always been rich. I'm just now getting...
Her daddy bought her a Rolls Royce one for Christmas one time, and then she got mad because he sent the chauffeur home.
Yeah. She made that up.
Is that true?
I want to say that one thing that we did always have as a kid, we always had lots of puppy dogs and kittens, and that's still my favorite part, as most of you know.
You know, we've talked a lot today about receiving things, what we got as gifts and all when we were kids at Christmas time. I happen to know that this room is full of a lot of giving people, and there's a lot more to Christmas than receiving. There's a lot of giving to be done. I don't know if any of y'all know the story, and you may know it better than me, and if you do, jump in and tell it. But has anybody ever heard the story about the time that our friend George Hamilton IV was trying to get back to Nashville on Christmas Eve and got caught in a snowstorm up in around Louisville somewhere, I think, and it was so bad that the planes weren't flying. And the only way he could get back to Nashville at that time was on a train, because there was still the train that ran from Chicago to Indianapolis and Louisville and on into Nashville, I think. And George was caught in a train station, and it may have been Indianapolis, wherever it was, it doesn't matter, but he was caught there several hours outside of Nashville on Christmas Eve in a terrible snowstorm. And he said that there was a whole train station full of angry, very agitated, irritated people because they couldn't get home for Christmas, and they were griping and they were complaining. And George said he heard all that he could take, and all of a sudden he reached in and he got his guitar out. And he told him, he said, yeah, we're being inconvenienced, but he said, think back to the first Christmas Eve. He said, think back to when Mary and Joseph were in a stable attempting to have a baby and what they went through. And he said, nothing that we're going through will compare what they went through on the very first Christmas Eve. And he took his guitar and he started singing Away in a Manger. He took that entire train station full of people, totally changed their mood. They got on the train, they were happy. And eventually everybody got home. But what a giving thing to do. Yeah, I wish George could have been here today. We invited him, and he's in England. Skeeter Davis has done some very giving things in her life. Tell about the time that you were so alone at Christmas, and rather than just wallowing in your own self-pity, you shared something with somebody special.
Well, this was in 1964, right after I'd been divorced, and I just came home from an overseas trip, and very lonely, and I'd even thought I might stay over there, but I thought, well, I don't know anybody over there except the ones I'd worked with. They had all came home. So anyway, I was very lonely, and I was sitting there. I fixed a big tree and had it out there in the middle of the floor and everything, and I thought, well, what can I do? And it's like I really didn't even want everybody to know that I'd gone through the divorce. And so anyway, I lived pretty close to a Baptist children's home. So I decided I'd go up there and see if I could get a couple kids from there. And, of course, they all wanted to come, but I got a couple young girls, 8 and 7 years old, and took them home with me and gave them Christmas, went and shopped with them and shopped for them and had Christmas. And then going up there, I discovered that they didn't have a basketball goal in their gym, and everybody knows I love basketball and all that. Everybody that knows me, I'm a big Wildcat fan, and Vandy too, Bill. You see me, honorary coach for the girls one time. Anyway, so I bought a basketball goal for the gym, and I always got a big kick out of that. But I found out that year where I did always just been used to giving to my family, and maybe a few friends, but it was a family thing, and that year is when I kind of stepped outside my family and took in a couple of the girls. What was really neat about this was that just a couple of years ago, and this girl will be in her 30s now, but 35, I guess, but, well, figure it up somebody. But anyway, she's a young lady married now, and she was visiting with Tom T. and Dixie Hall. And she started telling them the story. She said, well, I know y'all are friends with Skeeter Davis. She came and got me out of the Baptist home and had Christmas with her. And they called and told me that. Dixie called and told me that she'd been in their home. So that was it turned into a really good Christmas. And the saddest part was taking them back. I found that was just the saddest part, taking them back home. But I told all my friends to do that after that Christmas. It was neat.
For what you did for them, you did an awful lot for yourself, too, because you probably ended up feeling...
Yeah, it turned into a good Christmas. Yeah. The next year, I called my sister and I said, bring your 8 kids and get down here. I can't, or else I'm going back to the home. I have to bring them all here, which she did. She and her husband and all of her 8 children spent Christmas with me next year. But I learned something. I've done that since then, but I know... I don't usually put those things in the news or anything, but I do that quite often.
No, because people who do that for the right reasons, they don't do it for publicity. They don't do it for people.
Don't blow your
I
own
bet we can get some
men.
other stories like that. Margo?
I graduated from high school in 1957, and I was on some big board of our high school, and my dad had died. I was reared by an aunt and uncle. I was an only child and wound up with 7 brothers and sisters. Actually, the song called I'm My Own Grandpa is actually what I became, but that's another story. And the neat thing is that I know my real mother, and we have a wonderful relationship, and that's very cool. But we were supposed to take a gift, and I didn't have a gift to take, except this beautiful teddy bear that my boyfriend had won for me at the fair. And this was my first love. I was in love with this boy. But I looked at this teddy bear and I thought, I've got to take something. Don't have the money to buy anything. It was beautiful and it was pink and white. And I thought, well, I don't want to take it, but I'll take it. So I took it and I walked up these stairs to in this very poor part of town. And as I walked up and opened the door to give away the teddy bear, the little boy was blind. And he took the teddy bear and he rubbed it and he said, "Oh, I love this so much." And it was the greatest gift I ever gave.
What a story.
The scripture says that it is more blessed to give than to receive. And it says, whenever you give, it shall be given you, shaken down, pressed together, and running over. And the end of Grandpa's song, it says, the only thing that you'll ever keep is what you gave away. And so that's what we're giving.
The song Fallen Leaves. Dickie. Somebody hand Dickie a microphone so we can hear this real clear.
About 10 years ago, I was driving up 65 North one day, and it was in December. It was close to Christmas, and I saw this guy walking. He was hitchhiking, and he had on a T-shirt, and it had to be like about 25 degrees. So I really felt bad for him. So I stopped, and asked the guy where he was going. I picked him up. I said, "Well, let me, I took him back to my house." And this guy had been working on my gutters, and he'd left a couple of days. He left this really nice jacket there, so I gave him this guy's jacket.
So if the guy's watching today and he wonders where his jacket is, Dickie gave it away. He never came back.
My son, I was trying to teach my son that it's better to give than to get for Christmas, And he looked at me and said, "Okay, I agree. What you gonna get me for Christmas?" One Christmas a few years back, I wasn't married at the time, and
which one?
I can't remember. And my mother had gone out to California to be with my brother and sister out there, and my sister, who works for me, had gone to her children's home, and my son was in the Marines, and he was overseas, and my daughter and her family were living in Texas and hadn't been able to come up, and I was at home by myself, and I never felt so lonely in all my life. I guess I live by myself. I spend most of my time by myself, and I'm used to that. But at Christmas, it just felt so lonely. And that morning, my phone rang. Christmas morning, my phone rang, and it was Faron Husky, and he invited me to come over. He had found out I was by myself, and so Tommy Collins and I ended up over at Faron's house with their family, and all his kids were there, and it was really a big, nice Christmas to spend a day there with them.
Jan?
I don't know if I've told, some of y'all know it, and I don't think I've told this before about, you remember the year that the Opryland Hotel gave us all a suite for Christmas, and we were invited to come and with our family or whatever and go to the Christmas dinner, the country Christmas and everything. Well, I took my two granddaughters, and we had a 2-bedroom suite, and the dining room in the middle and the whole bit. They were 7, I think, and 9 or 10, and they just loved it. We dressed up and went down for dinner and everything, and Anita, the youngest one, she really loved it because there was a phone in the bathroom. She could call all of her girlfriends. Well, we just loved it, and it was beautiful, and they were thoroughly enjoying it. Well, the next morning, I ordered room service for breakfast. And we were sitting at the dining room table in there, and they were looking out over this beautiful atrium and everything. And I was being very serious, because they were saying, "Man, this is cool. This is really good." And I said, "Well, don't get too used to it unless your daddy wants to pay for it, But I said, "This is really great, and it was really nice of them to give us this gift." I said, and it's all wonderful, but you've got to remember what Christmas is really all about. Don't forget that, the birth of Jesus and everything. Anita was saying, Mitzi, the oldest, was saying, "Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am." But Anita was looking very serious, but something else, there's something on her mind. And she said, "Well, I know that, Jan. I know all that. And we know all about what Christmas is about, but," and I told them that presents was not important, really. It was what it was all about, the love. And she said, "But the day that I don't want presents," she said, You take me to the nearest emergency room because I'll be very sick.
I'm with her.
Bill, we tried to tell our kids, hey, gifts is not where it's at. You know, there's kids all over the world that a lot of them never get gifts, and a lot of them, you know, go hungry. And one of my grandkids piped up and said, "Show me one." Felt like bopping him.
I was kind of like Johnny one year, 1969. I had just gone through a divorce, and I felt so bad because my children were very young. I had 2 daughters. One was about 7, maybe 8, and the other one was 4. And I was feeling like I was really neglecting them at Christmas. I felt like there's a big part of Christmas is missing because we're not together as a family. And my daughters came and stayed with me for a few days prior to Christmas. And of all the Christmas gifts they've ever given me, this is the greatest gift they ever gave me. I was tucking them in bed on the night of December 23rd, and I was feeling so bad, like I had really let them down. And my littlest one looked up at me and she said, "Daddy, we are the luckiest kids in the world." And I said, "What do you mean, why?" She said, "'Cause we have 2 houses where we're loved. We have 2 houses where we're loved." Skeeter, sing us a song.
Wow, let me get over that first, because I think there really is something in that.
What a gift!
And when
yeah,
when they look at it from that perspective, too, that's a wonderful thing you just said there. It's 2 houses where they're loved. Well, we were going to do another little boogie song, but then I was talking with your band over there, and this is an old song. One of the first ones that I sang.
It's Jimmy Dickens' band.
Jimmy, and I hope Jimmy's got this one down over there. I know he'll know this one. It goes back. Yes, he's right. He is right on top of everything right there. Even if he ain't got on his pink suit today. And I guess as all of you girls know to holler out which chord, I just have to say hit a chord over there. When I was just a youngster, Christmas meant one thing. That I'd be getting lots of toys that day. I learned a whole lot different when my mother set me down, and she taught me to spell Christmas this way. C is for the Christ child, born upon this day. H for herald angels in the night. Armies are Redeemer, I means Israel. S is for the star that shone so bright. T is for 3 wise men, they who traveled far. M is for the manger where he lay. A is all he stands for. S means shepherd's cave, and that's why there's a Christmas day. Yes, that's why there's a Christmas day. I learned that from Eddie Arnold. Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Thanks.
You had a pretty good background singer
I
over there,
said
Kitty
thank you over
Wells.
there. High priced, I'm telling you. That's when I've sung with the best right there. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Let me just say one thing, how Christmas affected an old friend of ours, Faron Young. When I was single, like Johnny Russell, one of the times that I was single, and I was living on the premises of Mr. Young's mansion, close to you, Bill, out there on Harbor Island and then the good old Cumberland River. And I got a phone call the day before Christmas, and he said, Kilgore, this is your old war buddy, Johnny. I said, how you doing, Mr. Cash? He said, how's the sheriff treating you? I said, oh, we're getting along just fine. We're planning a big Christmas. He's going to do the cooking. And I said, well, he said, are you just going to have Christmas alone, you and the sheriff? I said, well, my girlfriend, Judy, and Faron will have somebody. And he said, well, I'd like to break the mold. We've never done this before. I'd like to invite you and your guests to have Christmas dinner at our house. We always have for the family. So when Faron came in, I told him, he said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, tell him we'll do it. It'll be a great honor." So we went out there, and we had the family at this big table, and he had at our plates little presents for Faron, my date, which is later my wife, and Faron and his date. Faron was so moved by that in his last will and testimony, he said, "I want my ashes spread out over Johnny Cash's boat dock." And to this day, Johnny has a placard marking the spot where the ashes fell at his boat dock. Yeah. So that was a nice Christmas present.
Yeah. I was going to say that Johnny, I found him to be one of the most generous men I've ever known. He came to California in 1958. There were no other hillbillies around except me and a couple of others, Gordon Terry and so on. And we lived neighbors out there. And I think probably the greatest gift I've ever received, and I still have it in my house, it's one Christmas, we had Christmas together with the Cash family. And he brought me a huge amplifier with one of them double deckers. It's got the speaker on top of it. I've still got it. But he was using it to play Christmas songs. He lived way up on a hill there in Cedar Springs, and all the neighbors lived down below, you know. And he was broadcasting, and they complained. He's playing his Christmas albums, and they're complaining. So he just brought it up to me and gave it to me. Gave his PA system. I still got it. I'm very proud of it.
Mac Wiseman has been extremely quiet today, sitting there looking like one of Santa Claus's elves.
He's deceptive, isn't he? He's deceptive, isn't he?
Do you get, like Johnny was talking, you get called Santa Claus?
Oh, yeah, I have occasionally. They never got away with it, but they've done it. I really have been impressed by what I've been hearing today, but in my Christmases were a very similar parallel in a lot of ways. Didn't know we was poor, but a lot of love there, and we was happy, you know, and some homemade toys and such as that, but can't remember of anything spectacular that's outstanding that would interest other folks other than just they were all good. I can't remember a bad one's what makes me pleased.
Well, I know what would interest everybody, and that's a song from you.
Yes.
Oh, one of the great song stylists, any field of music.
I hadn't counted on singing today, but if you'd insist.
Oh. I've never known Mac when he didn't have a song. He probably knows more songs than anybody in the world.
Oh, you gonna be my mic stand, are you, buddy? Hold it over this way a little further. I'm gonna get some hot licks in you, all right? Oh, this is one of the first ones I remember learning years ago. Away in the manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. The stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the poor babe awakes, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh. Away in the manger, no crib for a bed, the little Lord Jesus lay down his sweet head. The stars in the sky look down where he lay. the little Lord Jesus asleep on the hay. The cattle are lowing, the poor babe awaits, but little Lord Jesus no crying he makes. I love thee, Lord Jesus, look down from the sky and stay by my cradle till morning is nigh.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas to you all.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Isn't it wonderful?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. We really enjoyed it.
Joyeux Noël à tous. Hey.
Welcome back to Country's Family Reunion Christmas. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to have Christmas dinner with some of your favorite legends? Well, before this tape is through, you'll see what it's like to share a Christmas dinner. If you're ready for more, let's go back in.
And one night at Oz's house, Mac and Chet Atkins were singing songs back and forth and going through old songs. And Chester surprised me. I knew you knew a bunch, but Chester surprised me.
He absolutely knocked me out. I remember those old pop songs. I did a lot of pop disc jockey work back in my early days in radio and around. And to me, when I was growing up, Bing Crosby and Wilf Carter had network shows back to back, and I enjoyed them equally as well, you know. But we're sitting out there at Oz's place. I always afraid I wasn't going to get invited back because I was the last dog hung. I'd just stay there after everybody was gone. But anyhow, I was singing some of those old songs, and Chet was picking them, and I'd know a verse or a chorus or something, and he'd fill me in with the words. So I asked him, I said, I knew you could pick them, but I'm amazed at how many of them you know the lyrics to. And he said, well, I had to learn the lyrics to them to know how to pick them good. So that made a lot of rationale to me.
Talking about Chet liking to sing. He made some records singing early in his career. And I ran across one of them one day. And I picked him up at the airport. And the Limelighters were on the same flight with him. So he invited me to take them where they wanted to go too. He just offered my services, which he would do to me all the time. And so they got in the car, and he's sitting in the back seat right behind me, and I just bought me a new Chevrolet. And he turned to the one that was sitting there back in the back with him, and he said, I'm sorry that we're having to ride like this. I have a Cadillac. And the title of that song that he had recorded was I May Be Colorblind, But I Know When I'm Blue, which I thought was one of the worst titles I've ever heard in my life. So I just looked up in the rearview mirror, and he didn't know I'd heard this. And I said, I may be colorblind, but I know when I'm blue. And he shut up.
Speaking of Chet, I spoke with Chet's sister last night, Billy Rose. And Chet is, we've all known that Chet's been ill, but he's doing well, but he just wasn't quite well enough. But I'm glad that y'all thought of him, because I was supposed to tell you that he sends his regards, and he knows that and the words were, this would have been better for him than anything, but he just wasn't quite able to make it today. So he does send his regards.
One other thing about Chet, I talked to him last week, but his daughter, Merl, married, and her last name was Russell, and she married, and she had a son, and she named the son Jonathan. And Chet is standing there looking in the crib, and he said, Merle, why did you do that? She said, do what, Daddy? He said, why did you name that child Jonathan? She said, well, I love the name Jonathan. He said, do you know what they'll call that kid when he gets grown? She said, yeah, Daddy, they'll call him Johnny. Oh, God, Daddy, I'm sorry.
I wonder how many of you know that Chet's hobby is comedy. And Chet and I have run around together, especially back in the early days. And I know a lot about him privately. But one of his great loves in the world is to study the comedic art. That's why he loved Homer and Jethro and all you guys so much. Because those little offhanded things that he does are not accidental. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and he gets great laughs. He told me something about his sister one time, right after his father died. Now, bear in mind that Chet makes this stuff up and he puts you on. Now, what I'm going to tell you is not really true, but he gets you going and you think he's telling you the truth. And I went over to his office. I said, Chet, I knew your dad. A lot of people around here didn't, and he was a wonderful little man. And he said, yeah, said they read Daddy's will in the office over in Knoxville last week. I said, well, I'm sure sorry that he's gone. I said, well, when we was little, he used to hurt us. I said, what are you talking about? He says, when he'd get mad at one of us, he'd tell us we wasn't his. I said, well, Chet, is that really true? I said, how do you know that? He said, well, he gave Jim a farm. Said he give me a house. Give Billy Rose $1. We finally found out which one it was.
Oh, God.
Oswald.
All been talking about hospitals and nursing homes and everything. You haven't lived to go on a trip with Uncle Dave Macon. Everybody knows Uncle Dave Macon, I hope. All right. We played a nursing home here in the city, Nashville. Roy and all of his boys and Uncle Dave Macon went out to the nursing home. We played. We done our part, and Roy introduced Uncle Dave to come out. Uncle Dave walked down on the stage, and he looked at him. They had shawls all around them and bent over and, you know, sleeping and everything else. Everybody worked in nursing homes. And Uncle Dave said, well, I may be a little old and ugly, but I don't feel a damn bit lonesome here today.
Dale, that's a tough act to follow, but I think you've got a song.
Oh, Lord. Well, yeah. You've been talking about elves. I didn't happen to have a song.
Oh, we was talking about
that.
Elvis.
No, you're talking about a few minutes ago about little elves. Oh. You said Mac Wiseman looked like an elf.
You sure he said elves?
Can I use your guitar, Bill?
Sure. Dickens said, "Don't look at him when you talk about that."
No, he's a leader of the group. You know, you don't. That's right. Because this is about a little elf who lives way up the North Pole, and he was called Say Joe. Give me your pick. You got a pick? Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. This is a good one.
Your band leader's ready.
We're ready.
Start him off, Jimmy. He's already started him.
All right. There's a little old elf way up north, living at the cold North Pole. He's a big help to old Santa Claus. They call him Little Say Joe. On Christmas Eve he can be found trotting through the snow, rounding up the reindeers, hitching up the sleigh, shining little Rudolph's nose. Say Joe, Santa's little helper, keeping an eye on the flock. He never gets mad 'cause all the other elves are working in the big workshop, slipping and a sliding and a jumping for joy. The only job he knows is rounding up the reindeers, hitching up the sleigh, shining little Rudolph's nose. Say Joe, Santa's little shepherd, keeping an eye on the flock. He never gets mad 'cause all the other elves are working in the big workshop, slipping and sliding and a jumping for joy. The only job he knows is rounding up the reindeers, hitching up the sleigh, and shining little Rudolph's nose.
Cute, cute, cute.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she's through.
That's it, baby. Thanks for all them mics, folks.
Well, that one kept going out. Was just trying to help you.
Well, I may have to sing it again. I don't mind
We
singing
had
it
you
again.
in stereo, 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 stereo.
Yeah.
That's a cute song. Did you write that?
No, we did not. She's taking it away from me.
You don't have a microphone now.
No, you'll know the guy that did, though, because he wrote the same place you did at one time, Hank Mills.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
He wrote your Girl on the Billboard.
Girl on the
didn't he?
Billboard, yeah. I did 8 or 10 or 12 songs, whatever it was, of his.
Jan Howard's got a song written by a struggling songwriter named Irving Berlin. Whew. He wrote a few. Come over here and do this one. This is one everybody can kind of join in on, and I'm surprised we've gone this long and haven't done it yet.
I know it. It is. I know everybody sings this song, and everybody's heard it a jillion times, but I still love to sing it, White Christmas. And I can't help but think of my children each time I do. Everybody can sing with me. Listen, and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. White Christmas with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Yeah, that'll put you right in the Christmas mood.
Thank you.
Little Jim.
What?
What was Christmas? I'm not Jimmy Dean now. What was Christmas like at your house?
I'm so sad I don't even want to talk about it. Listening to all these poor people. I don't want to talk about it.
You gotta wait till Thanksgiving next.
Really, now, you know what it's like in the coal mines. That's where I was raised, in the mountainous part of West Virginia. Had so many kids in the family, they knew they couldn't buy a present for everybody, so they usually sent me and fertilizer on a trip. We didn't get back till the 4th of July.
Presents, won't it? That's two they didn't have to buy presents for.
There's too many. No, we had a wonderful time. It, just like all the rest of you talking about the apples and the oranges, and you was glad to get them. Where I came from, back in West Virginia.
Sing us a song.
Sing a song?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord help me.
Me too.
Boudin O'Brien wrote this song. You probably never heard it. It was a flip side of a flop record I had.
I bet I have heard it.
There is one thing for sure. If you're rich or if you're poor, there's no place like home on Christmas. The only thing the same is the date and the name. If you can't be at home on Christmas, sometimes when I'm dreaming, it all comes back to me, our happy family around our Christmas tree, all gathered singing carols, as happy as could be. There's no place like home on Christmas. The fruitcake sure is fine, aged in Dad's old homemade wine. There's no place like home on Christmas, and no restaurant in this land makes a roast like Mommy can. There's no place like home on Christmas. That good old turkey dressing can't be equaled anywhere. The pie is something rare. There's always some to spare. I'll bet that even Santa spends an extra moment there. There's no place like home on Christmas. There's no place like home on Christmas.
Nobody sings a ballad like Little Jim.
I've been having so much fun. I'm a little bit hoarse, and I know everybody knows about. They are the same, you know. Shepard, I was feeling for you, and I know you was feeling for me. Okay. Oh, this is fun.
Me and Jimmy was out together. Don't tell Mona and Benny.
Let me tell you what, I've learned something here today about showmanship. You don't follow Kitty Wells singing Jingle Bells with some version called Bingle Jells. You take it by itself, it's pretty funny. Right, Jim? I used to do it in the theater, remember? But that's showmanship. You don't do that.
Well, do you think I'm going to follow little Jimmy Dickens singing a ballad?
No way.
Not at all. We've got the same group here today that we had at our very first country family reunion, except two people are not here. And I know everybody joins me in missing our friend Justin Tubb and our friend Grandpa Jones. There's a big hole in the room because they're not here. And yet, you listen to that song, No Place Like Home at Christmas, and we know that they're in a better home. Grandpa made one of the greatest records, not only Christmas records. Grandpa Jones made one of the greatest records, I think, that's ever been made in this town or any other town. Dickie Lee was telling me a while ago, he carries this around in his car and listens to it throughout the year. You don't wait till just Christmas time to listen to this. And I thought today, since we're missing Grandpa, that maybe we ought to just listen to what he did, the beautiful recitation that he did called The Christmas Guest, kind of as our way of having Grandpa here with us at Christmas time.
Good.
It happened one day near December's end. Two neighbors called on an old-time friend, and they found his shop so meager and mean, made gay with 1,000 boughs of green. And Conrad was sitting with face ashine when he suddenly stopped as he stitched the twine, and he said, "Old friends, at dawn today, when the cock was a-crowing the night away, the Lord appeared in a dream to me and said, 'I'm coming your guest to be.' So I've been busy with feet astir, strewing my shop with branches of fir. The table is spread and the kittle is shine, and over the rafters the holly is twined. And now I'll wait for my Lord to appear, and listen closely so I will hear his step as he nears my humble place. And I open the door and look on his face." So his friends went home and left Conrad alone, for this was the happiest day he had known. For long since his family had passed away, and Conrad had spent many a sad Christmas day. But he knew with the Lord as his Christmas guest, this Christmas would be the dearest and best. So he listened with only joy in his heart, and with every sound he would rise with a start and look for the Lord to be at his door, like the vision he had a few hours before. So he ran to the window after hearing a sound, but all he could see on the snow-covered ground was a shabby beggar, whose shoes were torn and all of his clothes were ragged and worn. But Conrad was touched, and he went to the door, and he said, "Your feet must be frozen and sore. I have some shoes in my shop for you, and a coat that'll keep you warmer too." So with grateful heart the man went away. But Conrad noticed the time of day, and he wondered what made the dear Lord so late, and how much longer he'd have to wait. When he heard a knock, he ran to the door, but it was only a stranger once more. A bent old lady with a shawl of black and a bundle of kindling piled on her back. She asked for only a place to rest, but that was reserved for Conrad's great guest. But her voice seemed to plead, "Don't send me away. Let me rest for a while on Christmas Day." So Conrad brewed her a steaming cup and told her to sit at the table and sup. But after she left, he was filled with dismay, for he saw that the hours were slipping away, and the Lord hadn't come as he said he would, and Conrad felt sure he had misunderstood. When out of the stillness he heard a cry, "Please help me and tell me where am I?" So again he opened his friendly door and stood disappointed as twice before. It was only a child who had wandered away and was lost from her family on Christmas Day. Again, Conrad's heart was heavy and sad. But he knew that he could make the little girl glad, so he called her in and wiped her tears and quieted all her childish fears. Then he led her back to her home once more. But as he entered his own darkened door, he knew that the Lord was not coming today, for the hours of Christmas had passed away. So he went to his room and he knelt down to pray. And he said, Lord, why did you delay? What kept you from coming to call on me? For I wanted so much your face to see. When soft in the silence a voice he heard, lift up your head, for I kept my word. 3 times my shadow crossed your floor. 3 times I came to your lowly door. For I was the beggar with bruised cold feet. I was the woman you gave something to eat. And I was the child on the homeless street. 3 times I knocked, 3 times I came in, and each time I found the warmth of a friend. Of all the gifts, love is the best. I was honored to be your Christmas guest.
You know, in some ways, we're very lucky that when we lose a friend like that, we never really lose them. How can you say he's gone when you can hear things like that he did? And we'll always have that. It'll always be with us. And if we ever want to think about Grandpa, which we'll always do, but we can always go get that and listen to it or see a video of him doing it, and he's always with us and always will be.
All you have to say is he's at home.
The main thing to do for Grandpa is not forget Ramona and Mark and Lisa and Eloise. That's the main thing we can do for him.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Not forget to.
Well, you know, Ramona told me the other day that, I don't know if you were ever out at the house when they would do those little pickings and things that they would have. She said she was going to try to keep doing that as long as people would come out and do it. And she asked me, she said, you think people will come? I said, you're going to have food, ain't you?
And I wish that they would allow folks in the Opry. I think Bill's got his locker. And his locker at the Opry's right across from my locker. And Bill's going to have his locker, I believe, is the way I understand it. Grandpa's locker is right across from mine, so I think we all feel that loss. I believe Bill's have that locker now.
Eloise said something to me when we passed and visited with her and Ramona and Lisa. She whispered into my ear and she said, Miss Jeanie, she said, don't you let those people at the opera just throw Mama away now. So we got to keep that in mind. Hopefully the powers that be will invite her to bring her fiddle and Lisa to bring her dulcimer and come and play with Eddie Stubbs some fiddle and do some good things on the opera and let her continue to be a part of it because she has been since I can remember and she should be forever.
Well, and whenever she calls about those meetings, don't forget those. Let's go because that'll be an important thing to all of them. I never will forget Lisa grabbed a hold of me and hugged me, and she said, I didn't want to put on black today.
No, oh, what a great title for a song. I didn't want to put on black today.
I wrote it yesterday.
I'm writing the back of it.
Is there anything or anybody you don't know a story about? Or any color?
Ramona said to me, and I had to be out of town on the day of the funeral, and I called her before I left. And the last thing she said to me was, she said, just promise you'll always be my friend. And that's what we need to remember. Just promise me you'll always be my friend.
You know, Bill, I think about, I talked to Ramona a couple of times, and each time I did, she said, I said, no, Ramona, we're going to be checking on you after the service, the week after, and the week after that, you know, when you go home and you're alone. And she said, oh, please do. She said, don't let me go. Don't let me go. Yeah. And I think about us that are left behind, and I think about how sometimes we get, just to be honest, as a family, we love each other, but we get aggravated at each other so quickly, and we can see each other's faults so quickly. But yet, if we stop and look at what it's going to be like when we're gone, we're going to think about, we're going to be saying nice things about each other then. And I want us to all to each, well, yeah, but we'll be gone on to be with the Lord. And I hope we all get to hear those things about each other now, and maybe we not be so hard on each other.
They might edit the roses while I live. Yes. Not after I'm gone. Right. Too late.
Fred, what was Ramona's mood today and all when you talked with her? And tell us a little bit about that, because I know you called her.
I asked her how she was doing, and she said, I make it pretty good through the day, but the night's awfully hard. She said, this is an awful lonesome place at night. And that Eloise had been over to stay 2 or 3 nights with her, and Alicia had come and stayed, and somebody else, I think, Rose Maddox, maybe? Rose Maddox, I think, stayed a couple of nights. Rosalie, yeah. Rosalie Mayfield, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, she said, don't you all forget me now. And I said, well, honey, we're not going to forget you. We love you too, you know. And she said, well, you know, you meant so much to Grandpa. Excuse me. Grandpa didn't have a lot of faith in himself a lot of times, you know. And so when we were going to do the Christmas guest, I didn't tell him what we were going to do, how we were going to do it. He just knew he was coming down to read it, you know. So when he arrived at the studio, he said, am I early or late? And I said, well, you're neither one. What? He said, well, it's the wrong day then. And I said, what are you talking about, Grandpa? He said, I thought I was supposed to record. I said, you are. He said, when? I said, now in a few minutes. What have they been doing? I said, waiting on you. The whole orchestra. He didn't dream of that, see. And he said, I ain't never been so outnumbered in my life. and he pulled me over in the corner and he said, now, are you sure you want to do, you think I can do this? I ain't very good. And I said, Grandpa, you're not very good. You're very great. And don't you ever forget it. He said, well, you're just outrageous. He did that in one reading. Wow. Once. We ran it down a couple of times to get the balance and everything. And it's hard to do that thing, that tempo, man. It really is. But that's the only tempo I think that it works. And I had to keep slowing it down. And finally he said, well, I believe that'll do. And he read it right through one time. Masterpiece.
He would, somebody said a while ago, said the only person Grandpa ever got mad at was himself. Exactly. And that's probably really true. He used to come up to me. He would want to do the Christmas guest on the Opry, but he couldn't remember all the words, and he would always say to me, how can you remember all them talking songs? I can't remember nothing. And he'd get mad at himself because he couldn't remember it. But that recording, Fred, that y'all did is like Johnny said, he'll always be with us through that. And that's a masterpiece for all time. Are you gonna get? Are we going to go one on each side here?
Oh, yeah, let's.
Now we
that
really
pretty
talk about
red
love.
sweater in the middle. Let's talk about life. Let's talk about
No,
life.
you know, there's a lot of there's different kinds of love. There's all different kinds of love, and we've done, I think, every kind of Christmas song except maybe this kind of a Christmas song. Guy that was born on Christmas Day, our friend Steve Warner and I got together last year and wrote this. We got two people in country music born on Christmas Day. Steve Warner and Barbara Mandrell were both born on Christmas Day. Steve and I wrote this song a couple of Christmases ago. We actually wrote this one at Christmas time. It wasn't one of those July songs that we had to wait for a year or so to do anything with it. And our friends in the group Alabama recorded it, and we made a record of it too. If y'all will help me, this is about the greatest love in the world. Johnny, you and Kitty can hold hands on this one if you want to. It's called Christmas in Your Arms. All my friends are asking me where I plan to spend the holidays. People seem to celebrate the season in so many different ways. Some go where the weather's freezing cold, while others like it warm. I don't care about the weather, just whether I spend Christmas in your arms. We could drive up to the mountains, build a fire and watch it snow. We could sail down to the islands where the gentle breezes blow. I'd be happy in the city, I'd be happy on the farm. I don't care where I spend Christmas, as long as I spend Christmas in your arms. Oh, I'm so fickle. It was only last December, I had no Christmas spirit in my heart. My world lay cold and shattered in the ashes of a dream that fell apart. But now you're here beside me, no greater gift is wrapped beneath my tree than the arms you've wrapped around me and the precious gift of love you give to me. We could drive up to the mountains, build a fire and watch it snow. We could sail down to the islands where the gentle breezes blow. I'd be happy in the city, I'd be happy on the farm. I don't care where I spend Christmas, as long as I spend Christmas in your arms. We could drive up to the mountains, build a fire and watch it snow. We could sail down to the islands where the gentle breezes blow. I'd be happy in the city, I'd be happy on the farm. I don't care where I spend Christmas, as long as I spend Christmas in your arms. I don't care where I spend Christmas, as long as I spend Christmas in your arms. Merry Christmas, baby. I hope this is the happiest Christmas that you've ever had. And I love both of you, and I thank you for singing that little song with me called Christmas in Your Arms. Thank you. Thank you. I had, when we were writing that song, Steve Warner sat over in the corner, and one time he was singing, "We could drive up to the mountains, build a fire and watch Hank snow." Dickie Lee, where'd you spend Christmas as a youngster? Where'd you grow up?
Well, I grew up on a farm, and we lived right outside of Memphis, a little place called Whitehaven. That was really way out there.
Is that microphone on? We're not hearing you over here. Try one that's got a battery in it there.
It wasn't on when I was telling that story.
No, Merle, we haven't heard a word you said all day. It hadn't been. We're kidding you.
No, I grew up in outside of Memphis in a little town called Whitehaven. It was I grew up on a 40-acre farm, and we never had a whole lot either. But I thought, it's really funny because even going on through high school, I didn't know that we didn't have a lot, until later. And but we lived right on the edge of the woods. We had a farm. It was a place I couldn't wait to get off of. Now I think, why did I ever want to leave that place? But I remember the year I got my first Schwinn bicycle, which is more than a lot of you guys got, I guess. But out there, of course you too, like you almost needed a car back then to get around because our nearest neighbor was about 2 miles down the road. But my brother and I both got a bike, and it was really fun. But just all little kinds of things. I got a train too. Yeah, got an electric train. It smoked. I burned it up, the day I got it, I think. You remember how you could smell that hot transformer smoke? It's kind of a nostalgic smell. But we just had some great Christmases growing up out there. And we were just kind of out there all by ourselves, and it was really neat. And seems like we used to get a lot of snow back then, a lot more than we do today.
You've spent a lot of your career not only in country, but with a lot of your friends in the rock and roll business, because you've had some hit records and written some songs for them. We were talking about a lot of our country folks being overseas at Christmas, entertaining the troops. Did you guys ever do anything like that, or were you ever working a concert or anything at Christmas time?
No, I never entertained overseas during the holidays. I've entertained at prisons here during the holidays, but. It's really funny. You talk about my rock and roll and my country career, and when I had my first, I started off. I guess I was really heavily influenced by Elvis Presley. I grew up in Memphis, and it was kind of a melting pot. You had, you got rock and roll, rhythm and blues, and country down there, and as it happened, my first hit in 1961, it was considered rock and roll. It was Patches. Today it would be considered a country record, but. While I had that record out, that's when I wrote "She Thinks I Still Care." So I would go do all these rock and roll shows, and I'd try to get all my rock and roll buddies to listen to me. I would sing country songs backstage. I'd sing Webb Pierce, Faron Young, and Hank Thompson. That was kind of my repertoire back then.
I want Dickie to sing. You mentioned Elvis. Skeeter's got a wonderful Elvis Christmas story about the time he was doing his Christmas album and how he was having such a hard time getting in the mood to sing Christmas songs. Share that with us while Dickie gets ready to sing.
Fred probably knows this story too, being so close to Felton and Mary, Jarvis and Elvis. But Elvis, it was in July, very hot, and I think it was July because we always Christmas in July. It was kind of like a little cliche, but it was very hot, and they had the recording session planned. And of course, the musicians were coming ready. Everybody was ready. Engineer, everybody was ready. But Elvis wasn't showing up. And then he'd come back and he'd look, and it was just he could not get in the mood. He just could not feel like singing Christmas songs because it just didn't feel like Christmas to him. And I think it was Felton's idea, and finally said he needs a tree. Of course, the musicians were just kind of laughing at it because every time he left and delayed the sessions, that was just more money piling up for them. So they were like, they didn't care if he got in the mood that quickly or not, because they said, oh, don't go get no Christmas ornaments, don't go get no tree. But anyway, Mary, I had a farm in Thompson Station, and Mary's father lived close by, Papa Lynch and Mama Lynch. So anyway, we went out and got a Christmas tree and decorated the tree all up. And so when he came back in, he saw the tree. And I don't think it matters to say that he cried. He actually just cried, and Fred shaking his head. That was Elvis, the heart of Elvis. And he cried and cried. And then once he got through with that, he was so touched and moved by that. So that's when he did his Christmas album. And the boys all got aggravated because we went and got the tree and got it all ready and got him in the Christmas mood where he could do his album. But I'm always glad to see Fred because I feel so connected to my friends Felton and Mary and Elvis.
Any of the rest of you ever done a Christmas album in the summertime and had to do something like that?
I wrote some Christmas songs for Marty Robbins. Marty used to call me his pressure putter. For us golfers, that means something. To you all that don't play golf, you'll learn about it when you take it up. But he would call like in June and say, I'm going to start a Christmas album the end of this month or the first of next. And he said, I need a couple of songs from you because I was writing for his publishing company at the time. And I was just like you're talking about. I thought, Christmas in the middle of the summer like this? How do you write Christmas songs? And I did just what she's talking about. Put me up a Christmas tree, baked cakes, filled the house with good smelling potpourri and stuff that smelled like Christmas, and finally did get in the mood. Wrote 3 Christmas songs that day, presented them to the publishing company the following week, and he cut 2 of them in one album. So it does work if you work hard at it.
Well, let me say this, Bill, if you asked him about, we cut a Christmas album in June. And so Kelshurst called Fred Carter and said, Fred, bring some kind of something to get us in a Christmas mood. And so I didn't want that to be unless it'd be a good little fifth of liquor or something, you know. That'll get me in the mood, baby. Well, I want you to know, in a little studio at RCA Victor Records, you know, here, Fred Carter brought about a 8 by 10 picture of a house back. You seen that house go by with a Budweiser beer commercial? It's just a picture of a house with snow and a tree there. And once you get over to drums, you can't even see it. I mean, how can you see it? But he brought that up and hung it up. And we had the greatest laugh over that thing. And I think somebody did go get a fifth soon after that. Because you couldn't say, no, but we cut that Christmas with a little bitty picture. That's all we had in that whole big studio.
Jan, you might have been on this session. Didn't Johnny Cash actually have some snow brought in one time, some artificial snow and stuff to the old Quonset hut when he was doing a Christmas album? Some reindeer?
I think you got that turned around. It was snow had him bring some cash in. Hank Snow, of course.
Okay.
Gene Shepard a while ago said something about talking to her young grandchildren about people who didn't have things at Christmas time. I have a great friend. Merle knows her quite well. Her name is Bree Murphy. Bree is the only woman head cinematographer in that union out in California. She did all the work on Michael Landon's Little House on the Prairie, and she's won an Oscar and an Emmy and all of that. She sponsored a family down in Mexico, a father and a mother and 11 children. He was a master shipbuilder, and she would go get him and bring him into Hollywood, and he'd build a gorgeous, they had no business down where he was, it had dried up. He'd build a gorgeous desk for a head of a studio, and it'd be worth several $1,000s, and the guy would give him a couple of $100s. Well, he'd take that $200 and go back to Mexico. They could live for several months on it down there. So one time we decided we'd take him something for Christmas. So Bree and I went to a store called the White Front store, kind of like Kmart is here. And I think I spent $50, $75. I don't know what it was. But we got all these presents, and we drove down to San Diego. We were met by a taxi. And he said, we're going on Gomez Mendez Airlines. I said, okay. So this guy drove through the town and went out to a little airstrip. It looked like Smiling Jack with that windsock hanging down. And he hung up his taxi cab driver's hat and put on his airline pilot's hat. It said Gomez Mendez Airlines. Well, we got aboard. We couldn't fly over the mountains. We had to fly through them and around like this. So we went down to Manzanilla, and we slept in a hut with a dirt floor. And these, all 11 children, and they had what they called a fiesta for us. They made us food, and we had a good time on the beach. And I'd never spent such a satisfying time in my life, because they later told me it was the only time in the lives of those children where all 11 of them had something new at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jack, were you? I know he was. I thought you were trying to get my attention there to add a story. Oh, you're gonna be Dickie's mic stand. Now he plays that guitar left-handed, so be careful.
Okay.
Right. I've heard a lot of people with this guitar. You know, Skeeter, you were talking about how dumb you were earlier today. Well, I think talking about dumb, I don't know if anybody's ever done anything this dumb, but I did a show during the holidays at the Atlanta Federal Penitentiary one time, and I was trying to think of something, that they'd really dig and get them in the Christmas spirit. So I sang "I'll Be Home for Christmas." And as these paper cups and shoes started coming at me, I realized that, maybe that wasn't such a good choice, but I'm gonna try a little bit of that. This is the first time I've done it since then, so y'all might help me out with it a little bit. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. We'll have snow and mistletoe and presents on the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love light gleams. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dream.
Bill, I read somewhere, and I think it's true, that song was written by a 17-year-old boy while in the armed forces in Europe in World War II. He was in Germany. That was written by him.
It's a very sad song.
It's really neat to sing it and not have anything thrown at you.
Hello.
I bet you really got a hand on that deal.
Foot, too.
No, but there's everybody here has probably performed at one time or another in a prison. I mean, we've all done benefits. Somebody, were you on the one, Skeeter, where we were with Homer and Jethro, and we were talking the other day about how Homer and Jethro could always come up with something. I remember we were doing a show at the Nebraska State Penitentiary, I think, and Homer and Jethro were on the stage, and this one prisoner got up and kind of started walking down the aisle. Homer looked at him, "Where do you think you're going?" Where was there to go?
Bill, I have a little Christmas prison. Dale Reeves will remember.
Oh, man.
Hank Jr. was singing at the Tennessee prison here in Nashville, the old Disney World, what we used to call Disney World East. And Hank Jr. started doing a whole lot of shaking or something, and those prisoners started to riot, and Dale ran and jumped in this big old box. And everybody was looking for Dale when things calmed down, and he raised that lid up, and he said, "Is the coast clear?"
It's where they kept the barbells. I threw all them barbells out there and got in that thing, and it was close, but man, they were riding.
I was trying to get in before you. You knocked me out.
I know it. Everybody knows I was trying to get in that thing because I was hiding. But they got him under control. But finally, someone come back there and says, "Where's Dale?" And I raised that thing up. I said, "It's right over."
This really didn't have a thing to do with Christmas, but a couple of the guys over there are laughing because we played the Utah State Prison one time. Jan, you may have been with us. I don't remember. And when the drummer went to put the drums back on the bus, he said, "This drum case feels heavy." And he took the top off, and there was a guy in there, was in the drum case. And my drummer looked at us and said, "Are you trying to escape?" The guy said, "Yep."
Bill, do you remember when we worked the Connecticut maximum security prison?
Yes.
Remember that? And we went out there, and they had guards everywhere, and I was very uncomfortable. And but anyway, we did it, and the next day, there was prisoners backstage serving cake and coffee and everything. The next day, we went to the bank, and this teller said, "Oh, you all, we're here again this year and everything." And I said, "Yeah, but we were off yesterday and we worked the prison." He said, "You did?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "I'm surprised they had any more entertainment out there." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "A jazz group was there a month ago, and they had somebody held a couple of the entertainers hostage, and it was an escape, and somebody was, don't you remember that? Somebody was stabbed. We're really getting away from the Christmas
No,
thing
you're
here.
not, because we played. Hey, Merle, we went up. We done so good out here that the man from Kentucky wanted us up there. I went up to Kentucky, and this was 3 days before Christmas.
That's right.
Now, this is a fact. I just happened to think about this, and so the what's that head of this? What's it he called up there?
Big
The warden.
boss man.
Yeah, he come. Yeah, Joe. Yeah, he come and told us. He said, "Boys, I don't want nothing said about food or nothing else." He said because, and he said we're going to have 2 shows. He said because they've been writing here. And he said, we're going to give them a big Christmas dinner 3 days away. But he said, right now they've been on bread and crackers.
Bread and crackers.
Or crackers and water.
Yeah.
I'll swear to you, I'm telling the truth.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And wait a minute, Harold Morrison was on the show. He opened the show up. And the first thing Harold Morrison said was, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. There ain't nothing men in there. And he said, I come by my uncle's place down here, and he said he just bought him a new a bologna slicer. I said, oh, Lord, let me go try to find someplace to hide. But we got through those 2 shows, and Hank Jr. was on it, and it was just fantastic. But now they were going to get Christmas dinner in 2 days.
In early 1973, Faron Young and I worked the prison right here in Nashville. And I think Faron had done that many times. He used to go out there and give of his talent and his service to entertain those boys out there. And they didn't care a whole lot about hearing me sing. They didn't want to hear nothing I had to say, but they liked looking. They just looked, but they didn't want to hear me sing. They didn't care too much about what Faron was doing. But David Allen Coe was with us, and he went out there and destroyed the house that day, just absolutely. They loved him to death because I think they were trying to figure out whether he was one of them or should be.
Give little Jim your mic there.
Bobby and Sonny Osborne, the guys. And Sonny was telling me this story. They were playing this mental institution at Christmas. And they were on stage doing their thing, and they had a balcony around up there in this little auditorium. And some of these people were leaning way out over it. And he said one time when they ended one of their songs, this old boy leaned way out over that balcony and said, "Play a record!" And Bobby turned around and Sonny said, "There ain't too much wrong with that old boy."
Well, Bill?
I think Fred.
I was just sitting here, thinking about when I first broke into the music business. I was a promotion man with Mercury Records. In those days, when a label signed an artist they had a lot of faith in, the first thing they do is try to get them a Christmas hit. Because that showed the DJs, that they were going to stick with them, whether they made it this record or not. So, Patti Page was a promising artist on Mercury. And they found her a Christmas song. One of the more unfortunate ones, I believe. It's called Boogie Woogie Santa Claus. And it was shipped out, and nobody would play it. They'd play it one time and say, oh, Lord. Somebody in Kansas City said, I'm going to turn that over and see what's on the other side. It's Tennessee Waltz.
Wow. Fred, when did you do How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Marion Worth had the country hit on it here, but... Me and you, neither one don't know, do we?
57,
Bill,
I think.
Bill, when we were talking about what I did a while ago, I purposely didn't tell you about going to the prison the next year to get a couple people from there, because I thought, well, you shouldn't start talking about all this prison stuff. But since everybody has, I was going to say that I did go, and I did get a couple of young girls from there too, and they will. And as we're talking about this, we can talk about it, and we can tell these stories and do these descriptive things. But I might just interject this right here that is a thing that I don't know if y'all know you can do that, but there are things you can do. You can make Christmases happier for other people, and the girls that. After the girl got out of prison, I mean, they were out for that little while. They went back. I've heard from them, and they made something out of their lives. And then I did get to go. It was a pre-Christmas show, but it was at Lewistown at the penitentiary there. And Jimmy Hoffa was in the prison at that time. And he had been when he was in Nashville, he had come to the Opry, and he liked my singing. And so they had requested I come and do a show there. So I went there, and like I said, we were doing Christmas songs. It was about 3 or 4 days before Christmas, but they let this young man be with us all day, and he was carrying my things for me. And I was kind of embarrassed because when the band, they asked us if we did, they said, well, you need to ask you this. Do you have any knives? Are you guys carrying any knives, any pocket knives? And my band said no. And after I became a vegetarian, I always had a little knife because I'd get some lettuce and I could always have a salad when I couldn't find anything else I could eat, Anyway, so all of a sudden I was so embarrassed because I had my little Swiss Army knife they took. But anyway, we went in there and we sang, and what was so meaningful about that, I did hear from so many prisoners' wives that they became Christians, they found God, and they made jokes about having a captive audience. You do all those little things that we talk about and laugh about and everything. But I think that, and here again, some people have children, grandchildren. I had no children. So I made all these things my causes and my children. And you do get so much more out of it than you give. But the young boy that happened to be with us that day, they were letting him be kind of our person that was helping us and everything. It turned out that he had been in prison for about 14 years and had been there since he was a young man. And so I tried to keep up with him. Anyway, it's really a challenge that I would even give out today as we talk about all this, to try to seek out those things and try to make Christmas happier for some of those, that are less fortunate than we.
Bill, I'll tell you a great Christmas present I just thought of that I got from a man that I always think about when I hear Christmas songs, Eddie Arnold. I had written 3 or 4 songs for Eddie and worked with him on an album. And my wife said, Merl, guess who's on the phone? I said, who is it? I'm in the bathroom. He said, it's Eddie Arnold. I said, wow, Eddie Arnold. He's never called me. I said, hello, Eddie. And he said, Merl, Merry Christmas. I said, well, Eddie, that's so sweet of you to call and wish me Merry Christmas. He said, I've got a Christmas gift for you, my boy. I said, a Christmas gift? What can it be? He said, I guess you've heard that I've recorded Make the World Go Away. I said, well, Eddie, everybody in town's talking about it. It should be a 6 million seller at least. He said, I hope so, my boy. I put your song The Easy Way on the backside of it. Merry Christmas. It sold 6 million copies.
In line with what Skeeter was saying, I've played a lot of prisons. I've played women's prisons, and I've seen some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. And they look up at you, and a tear in their eyes if you sing a ballad or something. And God, my heart goes out to them. And we find a lot of talent in there from pretty good songwriters and musicians. And I've corresponded with them, and we've had their material sent up and so on like that. Haven't been lucky in getting a cut, but we've corresponded with them, and the show may be going into some prisons right now. So I send good words to them. There's a lot of good guys in there, and they'll come out okay. There's some that'll just hang around and be back in there, too. They won't, because they don't listen. Well, that's my sermon for today, folks. Pass the plate, will you?
We don't talk enough about Eddie Arnold, I don't think, because he probably was one of the most influential men who was ever in this business. And he changed our whole business around when his wonderful style came on the scene back then. I'd like to do a public thanks to him because in 1949, I was a broke disc jockey in Texas, and he said, if you ever want to come to Nashville, call me up and we'd like to have you on the radio. I came into Union Station with little better than $8 in my pocket, and at his invitation. He said, "It's so near Christmas, you come and stay with me out at my house, and we'll get all this done right after Christmas is over." So I stayed there, and right after Christmas, he took me down to Nashville and got me a job on the radio at WMAK. I later became the #1 disc jockey there, thank the good Lord, and started my checkered career here in this town. So I can lay it all at the doorstep of the kindness and the goodness of Eddie Arnold.
Boy, nothing like being together with friends and people you love at Christmas time. I hope y'all have had as much fun with this as I have, and it's terrific. Yeah. Billy Walker hasn't sung for us.
You're right, I'm not singing. I'm raring to sing.
Raring to sing and can't sing for raring.
That's right.
All right, lay one on us.
All right, here's an old song that's we recorded in an album last year, and it's called Winter Wonderland. So, gang, if you'll hit me a sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening, a beautiful sight. We're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. We sing a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland. In the meadow we will build a snowman and pretend his name is Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man, but you can do the job when you're in town." Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Come on, band. In the meadow we will build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown. He'll say, "Are you married?" We'll say, "No, man, you can do the job when you're in town." Later on we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made, walking in a winter wonderland. Oh, walking in a winter wonderland.
Good job.
I loved it.
Did it snow where you were when you were a young boy growing up? Did you have white Christmases?
Well, one time out in Lubbock, Texas, and back about 1940, something like that. You know, there's nothing to hold back the north wind in West Texas except a barbed wire fence. And it didn't do a very good job. And so in 1940, we had an ice storm, and then we had a snowstorm on top of the ice storm. And, of course, all the power lines broke down. And, of course, we didn't have much power out where we lived, but we got caught visiting my brother over in Lubbock, Texas, and we spent one miserable Christmas over there because nobody had any fire or they didn't have any wood because there's not a whole lot of trees in West Texas, you know. You know, it's so dry out there that when a guy faints, they throw sand in his face instead of water because water is that scarce out there. But you betcha they get some snows out in West Texas.
Yeah, not exactly winter wonderland when you're struggling to stay warm. Though,
no, that's right.
Oswald said he spent one Christmas, or maybe more than one Christmas, with Roy Acuff in Australia. Now, it's summertime in Australia at Christmas time, right?
Oh, yeah.
Could you get in the Christmas spirit with it being 90 degrees or whatever?
I stayed pretty well, you know.
In the spirit?
I don't know much about it.
I think he thought I said spirits instead of spirit. Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems to me that would be so funny to be somewhere like Australia or in the other hemisphere, you know, where it's warm at Christmas time.
Well, it's funny feeling to come back in the snow and leave a hot sunshine.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I've seen pictures of Santa Claus is down there running around little short outfits.
Oh, yeah.
And skimpy outfits and things.
Yeah.
Speaking of outfits, y'all haven't seen what's behind the green door back here. We've got something. I think we need to see what's behind door number 1. Speaking of the outfits right here. Here they come. Yeah, Miss Country Soul in her 90. And who's your friend?
Her name is Samantha Jane Sweet Thing, and Santa Claus brought her to me the Christmas of 1969. So that means we're both 29 now. And that's my story.
And you're sticking to it.
But of course, I love the song all year round, but I can remember when I used to tune into the Grand Ole Opry during the Christmas season, always to hear Marion Worth sing a song that I like so very much. Remember Shake Me, I Rattle? Yeah. I have to go over here and sit down.
Okay, go over there and take your friend, sit down. Yeah. Jimmy Dickens is looking at that doll, dying to do Raggedy Ann.
Well,
she's grown a lot. Yeah. She sure has.
We don't know what happened to Dickens, but are you comfortable there? I think. Okay, I think we're ready, Mr. Katz. Shake me, I rattle. Squeeze me, I cry. Please take me home and love me. I was passing by the toy shop on the corner of the square when I saw a little girl peeking in the window there. She was looking at a dolly in a dress of rosy red, and around the little dolly hung a little sign that read, shake me, I rattle, squeeze me, I cry, please take me home and love me. I recalled another toy shop on the corner of the square where I saw another dolly in the window there. I remembered how I longed to make her mine, and around that other dolly hung another little sign. Shake me, I rattle, squeeze me, I cry. I had counted my pennies, just a penny shy. Shake me, I rattle, squeeze me, I cry. Please take me home and love me. It was late, the snow was falling as the shoppers hurried by, past that little girl with her little head held high. They were closing up the toy shop as I hurried through the door, just in time to buy the dolly that her heart was longing for. Shake me, I rattle, squeeze me, I cry, and I gave her the dolly we both had longed to buy. Shake me, I rattle, squeeze me, I cry. Please take me home and love me. Merry Christmas and thank you, Marion Worth.
That's beautiful. Did you notice the way Johnny Russell was looking at your doll there?
I know. I did. It worried me. But she can handle him.
What you gonna do for Christmas?
What am I going to do
You
for
stay home?
Christmas?
What are you gonna do?
You know what? I can't remember exactly when I started doing this, but I started going. I love it when the Grand Ole Opry is at Christmas time, because I do love to be at the Opry at Christmas and with all my extended family. And I love to go over to the Opryland Hotel. And I usually go to that Christmas dinner on Christmas Day because I don't like to cook.
Well, that's a good dinner.
I want to say one thing too. I don't do kitchens well, but all the girls were talking earlier, about growing up and wanting dolls. I was really fortunate. A lot of my dolls were homemade. A lot of my dolls were rag dolls, and I had a lot of stuffed teddy bears and everything. So I was fortunate that way. But I always lined them all up and made them be my audience. Isn't that awful? That's how I played with dolls. I made them buy tickets.
Johnny, tell us about the dolls you had growing up.
Bill, can I tell everybody, every Friday night before Christmas at the Grand Ole Opry backstage, I think most of y'all know this, but we have a Christmas party, my band and myself. My guys' wives cook, and I cook for 3 days. And last year, this has been like 7 or 8 years now, and last year I think we fed like 100, 150 people. But it's every Friday night, just right before Christmas. We make the sausage balls and the deviled eggs and everything. And we had a catastrophe a couple of years ago. Benny put the deviled eggs in the back of the car and they turned over.
Well, you had scrambled eggs, didn't you?
We had scrambled eggs.
Hey, I don't know if you've noticed or not, but they ought to get a shot of Dickens' boots here.
They're beautiful.
Have you seen? I've never seen a pair of boots that pretty in all my life.
That's a leg ain't bad. Christmas boots.
Like the leg.
Those are beautiful.
Hey, that record, Marion Worth's record, wasn't that produced by Owen Bradley?
No, it's a Don Law record.
Oh, that's right. She was on Columbia. I don't know why I was thinking.
Did Marion write that song, or who wrote it?
I thought that was Patty Page.
I don't know.
What a great song. What a beautiful little story.
Patty Page had that originally.
Tell them what you know.
Yeah. Well, not that one. But I know she had that. We had a record shop. We sold the records.
Oh, yeah. Does anybody know who wrote the song?
No, I don't know who wrote it.
Anybody knows. It's a beautiful song.
I'll take it.
Copyright.
I was going to tell you. I was going to tell you a little story about Patty Page and the Tennessee Waltz. We had that store in Wheeling. We sold all country records. Wasn't an artist that could come in there that they wouldn't find their records in our store. I made sure that we had everybody. And then we sold the rhythm and blues, the rock and roll. And we had the two different trades. And I had to listen to the radio in places to know what to buy in the rock and roll field and the rhythm and blues. They told me where to listen. And one of the places to listen was WLAC here in Nashville. And so, that's right. So I knew where to listen to get that, and I always listened to the radio, for the new records that come out. And I heard Patty Page on a pop station do Tennessee Waltz. So I said to Stoney, Stoney, you and Mr. Lewis is going to have to go to Pittsburgh in the morning, buy every record that the distributor has of Patty Page on Tennessee Waltz. Well, he said, do we have to go in the morning? I said, yes, you do, to get the records, because we got to have those things. So they went up there, and they bought every record Mercury had, brought them down, and we were the only store there in Wheeling that had Tennessee Waltz for about 2 weeks.
And Boogie Woogie Santa Claus.
On the back. That's right. That's why I knew, yeah.
Speaking of dollies, Merl Kilgore wrote a big song back, what was it, Merl, late 50s, early 60s?
1960.
Mm-hmm. Was it Frankie Miller that had the first record on this? But then you recorded it too, didn't you?
Right. No, yes, I did record it on Starday. I forgot. But Frankie had the first record. Tommy Hill produced it on him. And this is really not a Christmas song, but because of Christmas, it happened. I was manager of KCIJ. You remember that station, T. Tommy?
Very well.
He made that station famous. I came along and tore it down, but hey, it was a living. It was a little rough back in those days after T. Tommy left and Tommy Sands. I'm not kidding you. They took the listeners somewhere. And times were tough. And my wife said, Merle, bring home a Christmas tree. We got to have a Christmas tree. I said, let me tell you something, my dear. I got a deal with the guy at the A&P. He's going to get me a tree for nothing. And we'll just have to wait the day before Christmas. So that year, they had a run on Christmas trees. There was no Christmas trees at the A&P, and everything else I looked was horrible looking. So I told the guy, I said, man, what am I going to do? You promised me a tree. He said, I got it. He had the most beautiful, life-size, probably a 10-foot photograph of a tree with all the ornaments in living color, And I brought that home. My wife looked at me and said, you got to be kidding. That's right. You got to be kidding. I said, the kids will never know the difference. They're real little. So we scotch taped that tree up and put presents under it. And she called me
We'll
cheap.
do that. Only Merle will do that.
But the kids loved that tree. It was so beautiful. And we thought about holding it over to next Christmas. But when we took it off the wall, the scotch tape ate up the picture. But anyway, the kids were doing a little thing under the tree, and I said, Pam did the jig, Steve beat the drum, and Kim rocked her dolly. And so my wife said, well, go ahead. And I said, you think that's pretty good? So I wrote this little song. Would you please? Remember this now, that beautiful 3D almost Christmas tree. As I sit here in this old folks' home, my hair is white as snow. I remember back when I was young again, how everything was jolly. When sister did the jig and brother beat the drum and baby rocked her dolly. Baby rocked her dolly. Them kids of mine have all grown up, but they write every now and then. As I read their letters, it brings memories of all our fun and folly. When sister did the jig and brother beat the drum, baby rocked her dolly. Baby rocked her dolly. That wife of mine, God rest her soul, she's gone on before me. Bet she's told the Lord all about the times our house was filled with folly. But sister did the jig and brother beat the drum, baby rocked her dolly. Baby rocked her dolly. Well, the man across the hall is a lonely man. He's never had a family. So he asked me to tell him all about my kids when he's feeling melancholy. But sister did the jig and brother beat the drum and baby rocked her dolly. Baby rocked her dolly. Every night I pray for them kids of mine. I wish they were back with me. But before I die, Lord, let me see a sight to make me jolly. Sister did the jig and brother beat the drum. Baby rock her dolly, and baby rock her dolly.
Nice song. Okay, yeah, Dale.
Turned out to be great, didn't it?
Yeah. Okay, Merle, you were in Shreveport. You were in North Louisiana. Or Jimmy Newman was in South Louisiana.
Yeah.
How'd they celebrate Christmas in South Louisiana?
Pretty much the same as anywhere else, really, and our food was pretty much the same. We had, of course, had to have rice with everything, where like y'all would have, everybody else would have cornbread dressing. We had rice dressing, and of course, we have the wildlife in Louisiana, the wild game that really enhances our Christmas dinner. You know, the wild ducks and all of that. But it's pretty much the same. You know, there's a little more eating going on in our part of the country, but it's a wonderful time of year. By the way, May and I, my wife, we always go home for Christmas, and Louisiana. We tried not to for a few years, and it don't sound right. It don't feel right. So we even spent a white Christmas in Gatlinburg, and that was more worse than. I wish we could celebrate it in Tennessee because we love Tennessee. But at that time, it's, as y'all know, and I think we'll all agree, that's the time to go home, and be with family. Sir.
You've got a Cajun song, I think, Christmas song, don't you?
Yeah, my niece and I came up with a little song. You receive these Christmas cards, and I'm sure all of you have Joyous Noel, Joyous. Well, really in French, like we will say, that's Merry Christmas, and we'll say Merry Christmas in English if we're holding. But if we're holding a French conversation or visiting with some of the older people that don't speak English, that still just speak French, you Merry Christmas will do because they know what you're saying. But Joyeux Noël is really the French way to say Merry Christmas. Joyeux means joyous. It's there on a lot of the Christmas cards. So would you like for me to quit talking and go ahead and do a little bit of it?
Do
I've
whatever,
never done it
whatever
before.
you want to do. It's Christmas time.
My niece and I put this together, as I said. And Peggy Newman, I'll dedicate this for you. Joyeux Noel means a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year means a bon année. Joyeux Noel, wish you could be with us. Celebrate the season in our Cajun way. There won't be many presents underneath the tree, but there's nothing like the love of a Cajun family. Joyeux Noel means a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year means a bon année. Joyeux Noel, wish you could be with us. Celebrate the season in our Cajun way. Presents underneath the tree, but there's nothing like the love of a Cajun family. Joyeux Noel means a Merry Christmas. Happy New Year means a bon année. Joyeux Noel, wish you could be with us. Celebrate the season in our Cajun way. Celebrate the season in our way. That's what I meant to say. Merry Christmas, Joyeux Noel à tous. See you a while ago.
That's great, Jimmy. What'd you say, Tater?
I want all you folks, the lights are up on my house. They're all up, and I want you to come by and see them. And stop in, if you will, and see Miss Mona and I. Will you do that at Christmas? This Christmas?
Absolutely, yeah.
Got about 7,000 lights for you to view. Started on them in October. Put them up every year for the past 10 years, just for the kids in the neighborhood. One little boy met me in Kroger's one day and said, "Where's Santa Claus? He wasn't on the chimney." I wasn't going to put him up last year. And when he asked me, I said, "He's a little late. He'll be up there. Don't you worry about it." And I went straight as I could go and bought the biggest one I could find and put him on top of the house for the little kids in the neighborhood. And the Baptist Children's Home that we talked about a while ago, they bring the buses by for the children, and they all get out and look at the lights, and I go down and visit with them. Okay?
What a nice
Merry
thing
Christmas.
to do. That's the Christmas spirit. That's wonderful.
You know, they'll probably name it, Bill, Little Jimmy Dickens Opryland this next year. 2 more months, yeah.
Hey, what my daughter and I love to do is go sing for the kids at the Baptist Children's Home. And Mike Huff gets that ready every year, and he's a great insurance guy in Brentwood, and it's a real treat to go sing for those kids. And another thing that we like to do at Christmas time, we just started doing that, is to sing for the children at the psychiatric ward at Vanderbilt Hospital. It's wonderful. It's really great.
A lot of you go, don't you, to Baptist? Isn't it Baptist Hospital where a lot of people from the Grand Ole Opry go and sing Christmas carols and,
We go to
and this
Maybelle
kind of thing?
Carter's retirement.
Yeah.
We go there.
That's right. Yeah, the retirement center. Veterans Hospital. I know Jan's very involved in that.
Yeah, the School for the Blind. And is it what's the name of the song we do that that we do that they do all the repeats? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and they've like a light bulb, that kind of thing. And they have the biggest time.
This last year during the Christmas caroling, we went to is it Harry Hillman?
Yes.
School. I tell you.
Yes.
If you ever need a reason to count your blessings, go there and see these children.
Is it a hospital?
No, it isn't for the blind. It's totally afflicted,
Yes.
Mentally and physically and everything. And it will break your heart, but it will certainly make you count your blessings.
Some of them are children who I asked the lady there, and some of them are children with diseases. And,
Yeah.
Some are accident victims, car wreck victims.
Mhm.
One little girl was there because she fell in a swimming pool and her parents got her out, but when they got her out, it was too late. They brought her back, but it was the brain damage had set in. Another one was a car wreck. Another one a little boy had drank so much cough syrup, and it had done brain damage severely. And you can't imagine. It's like
No.
Jan says. I mean,
You
we're not
really
talking.
can't.
We're not talking light affliction here.
Serious.
It's
And
so wonderful
they
that the
told us
people-
not to touch any of the children, not to go over to them. But we were standing there singing, and there was this one little boy over there in a wheelchair, just propped up every way for him to be propped up. And when we started singing, anything out of the ordinary gets them. They get excited and they don't know what to do.
Agitated.
This little boy became so agitated and everything, and I just broke ranks and went over there and patted him, and stood there and rubbed his hand, and he calmed down. So I stayed there with him the whole time. But I went in the restroom and cried, because it will break your heart. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so wonderful that the people in this room and our brothers and sisters in the music business, the ones that have been around a while, the new ones, whoever, that they take time to do things like that and
I
to
hope
share.
the people watching this can see that the ladies and gentlemen of country music, what they do in their spare time when they're off stage, and what they try to put back from the business that they've taken from. We're getting a great example from it with these stories today.
Well, it's like I said when Skeeter was talking, and Skeeter said she never did it for publicity. Nobody in this room does it for the publicity. It's because of what's in the hearts. Jeannie's got a great song. I think it would be very appropriate about this time. Christmas is for kids, and we're all kids at heart at Christmas.
This is one of the songs that I told you that I wrote for the Marty Robbins album that year. I've never sang it publicly before because Marty said he had such a wonderful record on it, it's hard to top his cut on anything, but T. Tommy was a great friend of Marty's, and for all of Marty Robbins' old friends and fans that might happen to be watching our videos, this will be for you. May the children of the world, every boy and every girl, have a bigger and better Christmas day. For they all need a part in somebody's heart. Since Christmas is for kids anyway, Christmas is for kids anyway. You hear this expression every day. So may the ones far and near have a plenty this year. Since Christmas is for kids anyway. May we all look around for a child child who's been let down and love him as we would be loved. And regardless of his need, may somebody take heed, since Christmas is for kids anyway. Everybody, Christmas is for kids anyway. You hear this expression every day, so may the ones far and near have a plenty this year, since Christmas is for kids anyway.
That's a great song.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that.
Well, I just hope everybody here has the merriest Christmas that you've ever had. And it's been wonderful for us all to get together and to share these stories and share the songs and share them with our friends who watch these videos and watch this television program all over the world, really, not only just the United States and Canada, but as Jan was saying earlier, some of these videos go to South Africa. They go to all kinds of different places. I want to ask, nobody knows I'm going to do this, and I hope he is in the control room. We wouldn't all be together here today if it wasn't for a guy named Larry Black who asked us to do these family reunion shows. Larry, are you back there somewhere? You guys who watch these videos, you hear Larry's voice, but you don't ever really get to see him. And come here, Santa Claus. This is the guy that, yeah, that's right. We give him a standing. You have been so wonderful to, you're the guy that spearheaded all this, that got us all together, that said, look, here's the time, here's the place, let's get together, we need to be together. It wouldn't have happened without you. We wish you the merriest of Christmases. We love you. You've done so much for us. This is nothing very fancy, but it's a little scrapbook. It's going to ultimately have a picture of each one of these people in there. Everybody in the cast has autographed it to you. No. We hope that you'll keep it for this Christmas and many Christmases to come, and know that it comes with a lot of love from your friends.
Oh, guys, thank you very much. Thank you. You guys have, you've absolutely brought incredible joy to me. You guys have been such a delight to work with, and like I said, you've brought a lot of joy. It's funny how every time we start getting sentimental, we want to cut it with a joke somewhere, and so that's what you do. You go for the zinger, and but I really love you folk. Thank you for making this special. Thank you.
From my standpoint, I just want to say this, and you don't put this on the tape, just cut it out. But Larry asked me to kind of be the traffic cop here, and I didn't ask to do this. You guys are my heroes. I played your records when I was a disc jockey, and that you'd let me do this, I really appreciate it. You've all been so wonderful to work with. You're just the ultimate pros, and I get stumbling and I don't know where to go, and one of you jumps in and you pick me up and you make it look good, and then I love everybody in this room, and I thank you very much.
Like I told you earlier, you do what you do better than anybody in the world could do it, Bill. That's why you're there. Thank you, darling.
Thank you. The whole world a Merry Christmas.
The whole world, and our band, and the wonderful band, Mike Johnson, Les Singer, Glenn Duncan, Jimmy Capps, Dirk Johnson, Randy Hardison, and David Smith, who've done a wonderful job playing. And the band leader, little Jimmy Dickens. We're all going to his house and look at the lights, go to Jeanie Pruett's house and have dinner. Play a little Christmas Time's a Coming, and we'll go out of here on that. Just take it off, Glenn.
Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, Christmas time's coming, and I know I'm going home.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Look, Jan, you're right here. That's what this is. Margo. I'm going to find Margo. Margo right here. Vicky Lee's here. This is very special.
Oh my God. That's incredible. Ruthie, take a picture. All right. Oh my goodness. It's beautiful. Oh.
It's gorgeous.
Find your place.
There's a high chair somewhere. See where there's a booster seat. Anybody see the one with the booster seat for Dickens?
How many hours did they work on this? Is this wonderful? I just feel privileged to get to look on it.
It's beautiful. Mercy, look at that.
My God, look at the silver's out. Yeah. Did you catch up on your sleep last night?
I don't get it. It was a short nap.
Yes. Steve Shepard, Bill Anderson, Joe Allen, Bill Carlisle. Where is Jimmy C. or Jack Green? Where? Oh, there's Jimmy C. Okay. Jack Green? Jack Green, you're right here.
That's Jesus. All right, great.
There's Gene Shepard. Here's Bill Anderson, Joe Allison. Where is, somebody point out a Mac Wiseman. Over there, Mac.
Over there, all right.
Over there. You guys can be seated. You can be seated. You don't have to continue to stand.
I should go help Pete Tom. He might need help, and I know he's sitting on that end.
Okay, we'll get him.
My God, look at the silver's out.
Bill Carlisle?
Yeah.
Shep Willie, I think you're sitting on the other side. Where's Shep Willie sitting?
Oh, ain't that? Oh, good. Look at that. Oh, great.
Look at there.
Oh, man. Ain't that nice, huh?
Yes, that is.
Yeah. That is nice.
It really is.
Huh?
Yes, it is. I was not expecting
The first two are gone.
it. Yeah. Grandpa and Justin.
Yeah.
Right there. And Merle, I thought was right next to her. Carol, you want to be on the other side? Carol Lee is over here. Carol Lee's over there. You're down here by Fred Paul.
Oh, God, this is so great.
So nice. I kept wondering where I could take the picture.
Me too.
Your tater
Yeah, I saw that.
with his guitar,
With that
leading
guitar.
the orchestra.
When you choose.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Boxcar talking on the telephone.
I know, it's a great
Here we go, get their attention.
Hey, everybody.
Here, here, here.
Here.
May I have everybody's attention, please? We've all had the opportunity from time to time to do television shows, to be invited to special functions and all, and they all think that the money that they give us makes the difference and makes up what we come for. But today I have finally seen somebody that has taken the bull by the horns, and he's giving a little more than the money. He has given us something or other that we can take home with us and we can appreciate and love, and I appreciate that. To Larry Black and all of your people.
Y'all don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thank you. Yes.
You're not black, you're 24 karat gold.
Larry, you're going to heaven for this, not anytime soon.
Let me pray. Father, thank you for such marvelous people. Thank you that they have been given the opportunity to share themselves with others. You've gifted them in a special way. I thank you for their gift. Thank you for the opportunity of serving them back. Bless this food to their bodies, amen. Yeah. Oh, the books, as soon as we get the rest of the shots from Christmas, we will send you the rest of the shots to fill up the rest of your book. So that'll be after Christmas. And Jan Howard. Everybody said shh. Jan Howard mentioned something during the course of the show about a doll, and I know BJ gave you one, but we also have a package for you here. Would you give that to Jan Howard over there? Now, if somebody else had mentioned a present during the course of the morning, we'd have tried to get that too, but I didn't hear any others.
I was going to get around to a car.
So this, Jan, we just were able to run out and get that. I think you'll enjoy it.
She is named Mary. It's so beautiful.
Now, it's hard to do television and eat at the same time.
Okay.